And we should be live.
Roger, Dodger.
If you wouldn't mind checking the, I don't know, are you on the YouTube or no?
Yeah, no, I'm watching the YouTube. It's not live there, so but there's always a lag, right?
There's always a bit of a lag, yeah. Let's just wait until it appears. I'll tell you why, because they changed the, since I've done this,
Bingo.
oh, there you go,
Okay,
we're
what
live.
up?
Great, awesome. Yeah, since the last time I streamed was like, I don't know, 2 months ago or something, and
And it was like 2 times before that, I think, too.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And then since then, I've gotten an OBS update, and OBS now handles YouTube a lot better. So, but the settings have changed a bit. Anyway, welcome back to Rob's Red Hotspot. It has been quite a while since we've been able to do this stream. Welcome back to the channel, Dad.
No, it's great to be here.
Yep. And we're gonna load up this increasingly ancient Soviet stream. But I think we had one more session's worth of stuff to do in this save here.
Certainly, if we're successful on the offense, which I was trying to refresh my memory on what the plan of action was. I know there was a drive south. I wasn't sure beyond that. Was there a drive still to Berlin, or was just what the
I mean, I think
plan was?
I
In
think
the north.
we sort of stopped on the gates of Berlin, if I recall correctly. Yeah, we're about, looks like we're about 1, 2, 3 provinces from Berlin. And God, there's not the German army is definitely in rough shape. Interestingly, we haven't pushed it all. Oh, Romania's not on the Axis, are they? No, they're not. There we go. So that's hilarious. That is super hilarious. Yeah, so it's...
I'm just a little vague. I know that we were, in lieu of any other goal, we're heading to Berlin, but I felt that was, we really weren't sure the resistance, whereas the drive south to, oh good, yes, I love this game's arrows, was to at least to seal off that southern bit and just nip it. Oh, there it is. There's the other arrows. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, right, yeah. We left ourselves a battle plan, which is kind of useful. So I think we were in the middle of...
No, it was a drive through the center to cut off the southern part and to seal off the southern part and just like vanquish that and take whoever it is, Hungary, or there's some country there that if we did that, we might take them out of the war.
OBP Super Gamer, welcome back to the stream. It's been a while since I've been able to stream, and you said haven't been particularly interested in games like this. I get it. It's not for everyone. This is a campaign that we started months ago and have been very much looking forward to finish. So we're gonna do one more stream of Heartsfire 3. We might go back to another game afterwards, or who knows. I know some people on the Discord expressed an interest in a new city stream, so that would be another option. Well, we're glad to hang out with you here, OBP Super Gamer, of course. So yeah, before we get going here, yeah, it looks to me like we were in the midst of an encirclement here. This little pocket of German troops. We can try and encircle. Now the question is, does Germany have? How do I check this? God, it's been a while since I played Heartsfire. Here we go. I want to see if they have. Military access through Sweden and Yugoslavia, so they don't have military access through Romania, so they can't escape to the south, which is good. Looks like we're actually attacking them across the river there, and I think we blocked this off. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. I'm just gonna read.
Okay, so just okay.
While you ask questions, Dad, I'm just going to... I think I'm going to redo the order of battle. real quick.
Okay, so I think the key thrust is the one that's truly in the center of our line. Yes, okay, so that thing is basically a non-event. It's housekeeping.
Mm-hmm.
But that just means that thrust that was sealing them off, once they can no longer move and don't exist, that means you got something that cut across the flank of... down south. Yeah. The question is what's the predominance? Like, I don't see a salient truly to cut off there.
Are you talking in the north or the south?
The north. Like, what salient is there to really, like, because I can't tell the predominance of force unless that, and I don't think you can go both north and south in the center there, or at least not right away.
I mean, if we want to do a little planning session here, I'll get out the battle planner here. Looks like this is our winter offensive plan from 1940, which seems to be ongoing basically. So let's just grab this and add to it. I honestly, what I would like to do is push right up to this river here, which I can't remember what river that is. Well, now wait a second. Well, there's a few things we can do. Looks like to me like we've set up all of our armor in the north here. So if we're gonna do a big push here, it should be a really big one, like something like we really need to get a big salient here, and then, oops, that's a really big arrow. Okay, I always go with the big arrow first, and then try and encircle something like this, you know, against the coast here, using this river as a kind of bulwark against any counteroffensive.
You want to seal them against the coast as to drive south? Wouldn't it be easier to drive south?
Well, you've got the Carpathians here, so if we drive south, we hit up against the Carpathians, and...
No, yeah, but then you seal them off. You crush them, and...
Well, we could do both. We could potentially, depending on the predominance of force, we could try and push in the center and then fan out when we get there. I don't know if you see those two arrows there.
Okay, the only thing... Okay, so sorry, somebody...
No, OBP Super Gamer was asking about the No Man's Sky Let's Play. Yeah, I got to admit, I kind of shelved that and probably won't continue it, just because not too long after I started that, there was like a whole bunch of new DLC stuff for No Man's Sky, but I don't know if I'll do a No Man's Sky Let's Play, but I'd love to do a No Man's Sky stream for sure. I feel like it's... you know, my schedule's been crazy lately, so I just haven't been able to stream at all, but I feel like No Man's Sky might be better suited to like long streaming sessions, because those episodes are it's a lot of editing, and you know, anyway, I'm glad to hear you were enthusiastic about that, even if it's sort of on ice for now. What were you saying, Dad?
Okay, so the only way I can conceive of us... What you're basically saying is stop moving around for just a second. Yeah. No, don't. Okay, freeze.
I'm gonna zoom out a bit. There you go. Okay.
Okay. Oh, but you're too far to the right. Anyways, yes, stop. The arrow that you've got going sort of to the southeast, I would have going due south and starting at the base of the other big arrow that's circling to the right to the coast. Because what you're basically saying you're going to try and do is split the German front line where the second blue unit is, which I assume is, I don't know what unit that is, the blue unit.
No, it's a Yugoslavian unit.
It's a Yugoslavian unit. So if you were driving right through there, you're going to split those two groups of armies. And you're already driving to the Carpathians, in effect, on the other side. Which means that we're probably sort of giving up taking Hungary out, which is fine because you can only beat
Hungary. Sorry, there you go.
Because what we're sort of doing is chopping the German army into three parts. But, you know, that drive you're talking about in the north, I don't think you've got the predominance of force. You're going to have to send troops there, and I don't know, maybe I'm just seeing HQ units, but where are the reinforcements? Where are all of the extra troops now are in the south? We got to get some of the north.
Well, no, I've got like, there's 5 divisions there, 5 divisions there. Oh no, this is like 9 divisions, 8, 5. I've got a clump here. So actually, what's all this? No, okay.
That's my only question is at this point is I'd like to see a higher number of troops, but to really pull it off. Yeah. And if that can be manufactured, well then I don't know. Keep pushing or just pause for a bit up north.
Yeah, I mean, you know what though? We've also got a bit of a German counterattack here on this river. What's the terrain like? Okay. So we've got to definitely repel this counterattack there, and then let's finish up this encirclement here. What's going on here? Yeah, I might be able to I might be able to cut these guys off. Are they retreating or what? No, they're not retreating. Okay, all right. Let me do the order of battle quickly. See what I can do to
I'll
fix
shut up
that.
and let you. I'll shut up and let you do work.
Okay, these armored cores are actually reasonably well... Oh, I see. They're all over the place, aren't they? Okay, alright. Well, then never mind that. Okay. What does that leave us with? Lots of stuff here. Yeah, I'm just going to do it the old-fashioned way here and just delete everything and make new cores. I'm not going to worry about the leaders too much. Because it's just, it got super, super messy at the end of the last stream. And I think I said at the end of the last stream that I would do this off-screen, and then I obviously have not. But it should be pretty fast.
I'm trying to think, though.
This one looks pretty intact. Let's just
That
see
was
here.
like a... that was before you... I'm trying to think of how long... That was a decent length of time before you started work, or...
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
It's been a while.
Alright, well, you know what? I'm gonna... Why not? I'll just do it all. Hopefully we won't have any cores get shattered by counterattacking Germans. Okay, there's nothing attached there. Do I see any cores here? I don't see any cores. Okay, just gonna make new cores. So, what's the hotkey again? God, I can't even remember what the hotkey is. Okay, well, whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These guys are getting pushed back. Maybe I'll attach you to that core.
Yes, I do really feel very strongly up there where you were basically saying, find a river and stay behind it.
Yeah. Give these guys a core. Yeah, I think here.
And that was always the fallback plan, was to fall back a river. If I mean the south, succeeding in the south is more important. You know, the north is always a stretch, right?
Yeah.
Now, is anything happening over in fucking England land and France and crap? Are they doing anything other than scratching their balls?
Well, France is dead. England is holding on in the desert, which is good news, because it gets really funky if Italy starts like invading Iraq and stuff. They've also held Malta and Cyprus, which is good as well. I don't see anything. What's going on? Yeah, Japan's in the war. So Japan has taken Malaysia. That's a big surprise. Still haven't taken Borneo for some reason. And looks like they are stuck outside of Burma, Japan. So that's...
What have they done to us in the east now? Where are we at there?
Japan? Oh yeah, that's right. Remember I just automated that theater?
Yeah, I know, but sorry, I'm making my coffee. But all right, so I wanted to take a look. I'm back at my screen. Hang on. Now, I'm just curious what the heck has happened there, because we were just praying that there was a hinge that was not going to get lost.
Yeah, we were, and then what I did is I just automated the whole...
I know, because the main thrust was...
Yeah, it was just like, it's too much to micromanage. So I've got 5 mountain divisions on their way out there, which is good news. What's going on with Persia? We never invaded Persia. One smart thing we could do here would be to invade Persia quickly. Do I have any motorized divisions down here? Jesus, it's all bloody militia. That sucks. That really sucks.
The tanks were over on the east coast, and
yeah,
that was it. That was all we could create. No, I mean, we haven't invested there. I don't think we're going to lose there. We're just holding there. I mean, all the actions with the Germans, man.
So I've got some guards. I've got some guards divisions in the queue, and I'm upgrading a fuck ton of militia. I think... What's the terrain like in Persia? It's all mountains, right? Yeah. How quickly...
No.
Yeah, what I'm thinking is, what if I were to upgrade you to... Let's get a motorized division here.
Oh, upgrade what's there in place, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. And then let's upgrade these guys to infantry. And these guys to infantry. Anything... No, okay, 1 motorized division... Like, Persia, we can invade Persia with, like, 10 divisions, not even. So the 1 motorized division can swing down and take that city there. And then these guys can just push through here and push through the mountains. And then maybe... Oh, yeah, upgrade them to infantry? I should have done mountain. It takes more leadership, though. Let's go with infantry. Alright, so I'll just upgrade that all that, and hopefully our officer.
And you don't have any other mountain troops that could get there in time because it takes 1,000 years
the
to
mountain
cross
troops. The mountain troops are on their way to the Pacific Theater right now. Vox Darkstar, welcome back to the stream.
Cool.
Yeah. So okay, I'm gonna wait a second here. I'm gonna move those aircraft carriers down the queue because we don't need them. All this naval stuff. In fact, I'm just gonna nix. I'm not gonna cancel it, but I'm gonna move it down. These guards divisions. Yeah, I'll put these guys either in the east or somewhere else, but I've got a fair amount of production. You know what? Let's put them down the queue. I really want to get all this infantry out first, even though the guards divisions are. And then what about all this new stuff here? Let's put it to the top. So because my theory here is that if we what's
a guards division mean?
It's they're just elite troops. You can only build a limited number of them. Historically there were guards armies in the Soviet Union. Yeah, so what am I doing? I'm building radar stations. Interesting. Okay, well that's fine too. I'll take that infrastructure, put it at the top. The air bases, probably useful. Okay, yeah, I'm just going to upgrade the militia on the border here to infantry, and then I think if we take Persia out, then this flank is done, and we can redirect those troops over to the eastern front there. We might even be able to go and like puppet Afghanistan or something too. How big is Afghanistan's army? Not very big. Yeah, we could probably force Afghanistan to.
I defer to you completely. You know what you're doing.
Yeah, I just think if we clear out that Central Asian theater, then
well, we know we're going nowhere around Mongolia. We're kind of stuck there. We're holding on by the skin of our teeth.
All right, I'm just gonna finish what I'm doing here. Wait, what's this? Is that what I just built? What a mess. No. I gotta do this better. Okay, hang tight. It's always a bit of a puzzle to do this, and then it'll be done.
I know. Yeah. You can get rid of some of those friggin' arrows too, because some of those are dated.
Yeah, I think so. So the 6 is in a core, or the 5th, I guess. Okay, that makes sense. Where is this guy? There he is. Okay, you guys be in a core.
I got a victory this morning in Civ 6, turn 288 culture.
Wow.
As Russia. And I just realized what a monster Russia was, because if you get the first religion, you get it so that you get culture for both your shrine and temple of your religious buildings. So it's like you've built an amphitheater and a friggin' art museum and a district and at least one building. You're well along on the culture front. Cool. So it's a bit of an animal.
Okay, so these are the last 4 here that need to be put into a core. That core might get shattered, but we'll find out. I'll just make a new one if it does. And let's make armies now. So we can do a first army up here, or whatever. Probably not first army, but... Okay. Okay, now can I attach this guy there? Yep, okay.
Playing EU4, I was getting close to finishing the mission tree.
Which mission tree?
Ottomans. And it was the one where I had half of Africa. All the way down to the Horn, like the entire eastern coast.
That's very cool.
And cut across all the way to Timbuktu, was on the way to Morocco. And then I had a brain fart. And I had a very successful war against Austria, and then didn't even look at the aggressive expansion, and I just took the whole whatever, which is a mistake because I got the coalition from hell, and there is no hope. There just is no hope. I'm hundreds of thousands of troops behind. It just doesn't matter.
Yeah, no. What's cool about EU4 is is that it is sort of the way the coalition stuff works is it is sort of designed in such a way that it's almost impossible. And there is a point in the game where you get so far ahead that like no one can defeat you, but you know, you can play a good long game and still be kind of in a spot where if you're too pushy, you'll fuck everything up. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 armies. The middle army here, I'm gonna make an army group. Okay, and then I'll just do like this. So I don't actually need more than one army group for these. I wonder if the distance is close enough, actually. We'll see. We'll see. We'll find out. That was actually reasonably painless, believe it or not.
Oh, good. One of the things that you don't get out of EU4 that say is a Civ attribute is every game is a new map, and it is unbelievably neat how they do that. And a new game because, you know, they've got enough opponents, it's random.
Oh, we conquered Finland. That's interesting. Sorry, I'm just...
Oh, you forgot all about that? No, yeah, no, that was the quiet German.
I mean, I remembered, I just remembered that we did kind of an alternate history thing here, but... So we could actually clear up these German divisions here. How far can we go into Norway? I'm just looking to see where there's... Maybe I'll send these guys on an elaborate mission up here to clear out the remaining German...
Well, I thought you Oh, yeah, no, that's fine. I thought you weakened the mountain units because you weren't going to be aggressive there or something. Like, how many mountain units have you got left? That was part of how we did that. Up
here, I've got three mountain divisions, which could actually be sent.
Okay, all right. So you didn't take. Okay.
In fact, this guy here, let's attach him to the Far Eastern Theater because I don't think we're going to need him up there. Far Eastern Theater. Do I have Marines? Yes, I didn't build any, but I think... Do I have Marines at all? I don't know if I have any.
Are you moving them all the way to the Pacific, did you say?
Yeah, well, there's one of these divisions that's like guarding a port back here. I'll just stick a militia on that port instead and take that mountain division and send them to the east.
How long is that going to take?
Oh, I don't know, fucking 4 months or something. But, you know, but the thing is, like, but, you know, it'll help, it'll help. Okay, so all of that...
Peace. The thing that is annoyingly realistic about this game, which I'm not accustomed to, is fucking delays.
Yep.
Transportation delays.
Yeah.
Really annoying.
Yep. I don't know what it's like now in Hearts of Iron 4 with the new... I have been playing Hearts of Iron 4 a fair amount lately. The new DLC that focuses a lot on supply. Just want to see who we have as army leaders here. Zhukov.
Lucario, how you doing?
Lucario, welcome to the stream. Okay, we have Zhukov, Krulev, Fedorenko, okay, and Vlasov, and Malinovsky. Okay, looks like we've pretty much got our best generals automatically chosen by the game, which is great. All right, so we're crossing this river here, and we're sealing up this pocket there. We're gonna unpause very shortly. I also want to see if we can... Let's see if we can cut off a couple divisions here, just for kicks. Don't move the armor. Okay.
I think you gotta get...
And let me just speed up to speed 4. That should be good. And we won't start an offensive in the north until we're done wrapping this up here, because we may be able to reallocate some forces.
Well, I think we've got to successfully penetrate at Krakow to prove that we are actually going to go through that part of the line.
Oh, what we need to do is actually shore this up here, though. This is not okay. So can I take one of these divisions and move it down there? And okay, all right, that's good. And what's the terrain like around, Krakow here? I think we actually might want to see this plan that we have on here is actually, let me just, where's the battle planner here? Get rid of these arrows. Wait. Oh, how do I do this again? God damn, there we go. Okay. Okay, so this plan here is to push up to this river and create a new front there. And that might actually be the best way of us, because we might be able to do... Let me... I don't think I need these arrows anymore either. I think what we might want to do, considering it's the middle of winter... So if we push up to this river here, I would push instead, and this may be something along the lines of what you were suggesting. I would kind of push down that river there and see what we are able to cut off like that. So maybe if we start pushing here now, of course, there's a
I'm
heavy.
starting to get a little tuned into to the Carpathian Mountains, which are huge curve and a great big arc there. And we're pinning people against the mountains is really what we're doing.
Yeah. Okay. So now the problem is, I don't think we can get across this river because there's a heavy armor division on the. Oh, wait a second. No, I don't need to get across it. I can take these guys here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see if I can push through this. This is like a Bulgarian division, so it should be weaker. Let's see if I can push through here and go down the other side. Hang tight. I just want to check my message settings here. Units. When I enable
Why do
unit,
you?
I just give me a second.
Yep. Oh, I know. See, I just don't have a clue as to the relative power of the stacks.
What's the air situation? I don't care about naval units. Let's see air situation. Who have I got here? Okay. Oh yeah, I remember I just kind of automated everything in the air. That's fine. We'll just let that do that then, because I don't really want to micromanage the air units. One thing I think.
And they're doing what? Just to refresh my memory. What is their
I've
purpose
got
of
a ton of. Are these guys doing anything? Oh, they have no order. Okay, well let's get the tactical bombers. Do I have any airfields that can host them? Yes. There we go. Let's just move these guys up to here. Yes. Okay, we are getting ground attack. The interceptors are just basically preventing the Germans from bombing us. I'm going to use my tactical bombers to do some interdiction missions just along the border here. It's probably not going to work very well, but I'll set them to passive so that they won't fight until they die, basically. I don't know. I don't even know what's our. We probably have really awful air doctrines. Yeah, we don't have very good air doctrines, so our bombing forces are not particularly capable. However, we do have them. We might as well use them. What's this?
No, the reality is we're Russia, so it's going to be armor, army, and then air force.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I feel like the Russians did get their air game very much under control. Oh, right. Okay, and then we have this issue where...
I just don't think you can consider it, shall we say, very broad. It was a fairly... they weren't dealing with strategic bombers. They really weren't... on the fighter front, it's pretty low key. It was. I
don't know. It was low key. I mean, once they got their production up and running, they had a fantastic air force. It was the largest air force in the world, I think. Maybe the American Air Force was a bit larger, but it was really big. I mean, there was a lot of.
Yeah. So I just, for some reason, I feel like the variety of capabilities of the armament, shall we say, was just narrower than the Allies that were,
Yeah, well, I mean, and that being said, I think that kind of makes sense considering that the Allies were not engaged in they were engaged in this sort of naval theater very intensely, but they had a lot of time to perfect things like tactical and strategic bombing, without having to worry about protracted land fronts, because all they were dealing with was in Egypt, and okay, let's push down here actually.
Well, the reality is that the aircraft manufacturers, which by definition, if they're making bombers, are rather big in size and hard to defend as a target, we're in North America. So
yeah, no, let's do. I mean, it's true that Russia's air industry was not as developed as the United States or Britain, for sure. What's going on here? Oh, for some reason, it's just my submarines, and then some this really crappy British fleet, which is probably gonna get. I want to watch this battle actually. Looks like the Royal Navy mopped them up. Blair, Eric, welcome to the stream. Glad you could make it out. How long will we be live? We'll see. I think we're going to try and bring this campaign to some kind of conclusion tonight.
Yes.
Whether
we want to believe that we succeeded at our non-historical pursuit of glory.
Yeah, I mean, if I recall correctly, what we did was we didn't accept the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. Okay, so we encircled 2 divisions here. Let's just mop them up quickly.
Yes, which somehow just really changed the whole balance, timing, and dynamic of everything.
Yeah, because like America joined the war early. Okay, wait, I gotta get this core out of here.
No, the only bummer on our side was the early Japanese invasion,
which I knew was going to happen and was sort of semi-prepared for. Now I remember we initiated the war. It wasn't Germany. It was we that we initiated the war.
Yeah, I know that.
And so what happened is we were forced, because I remember now, because Germany had taken like all of this in Poland, right? Because there was no Molotov-Ribbentrop. Yes. So we wanted to encircle these units here while Germany was still fighting in France, which was, which was a big deal. And we managed to do that with basically inferior quality troops. So it was definitely worth it. But, okay, let's just get this going a little faster here. Get that front moving.
Yeah, I think if we can get some of those southern encirclements done, the map will look a whole lot different.
Okay, we've got a ton of infantry up here that I'm going to move south. What's going on here? Counterattacking there, that's not going super well. Okay, let's stop that. That was really rough, actually. Okay, we'll wait until those guys get there. Jesus. Okay, well, we're just going to have to hold for now in this area. Those guys are out of organization, but they're behind a river, so they should be okay. And I think we can probably start moving down here, and these two here can actually attack there and see if we can redo the encirclement here. Never know, we might be able to catch these guys. Do a series of small encirclements rather than one big one. The USSR had the largest air force when it came to single-engine planes, fighter, and close air support. Yeah, that rings true to me. Because by the end of the war, I mean, Allied air superiority. I mean, Germany just like it was like 1/10 of Germany's air force that was still being deployed in Western France. Although they deployed some key elements of it that would have helped them against the Russians. They really, I
think the Germans were just, for all intents and purposes, despite their cunning in getting an air force going well before the events leading into World War II occurred. The reality is they just they weren't a big competitor there. They had a good start, and then they sort of stopped. I mean, they had good fighters, but they were, yes, I guess they had the jets, but I don't know. That's sort of like going.
They certainly, I think they made some key advances. I think they made some advances.
But again, they're very narrow, right? They had no naval, no long distance strategic bombers. It's like they peaked out a couple years too early.
Well, I remember reading.
They couldn't build the plants. It literally takes a couple years to build a plant.
Well, and the thing is that they also
aircraft,
wait a second
here. Just the building.
I just want to make sure we're not going to get encircled in this little salient here. It's a little bit. I think we should push here actually to prevent that from happening. All right, what have I got there?
The one thing you can't really determine in this game is if there's German troops, flowing towards the north or the south.
Well, you can actually, because we've got, what's our intelligence in Germany? We've got military espionage. Do I have any spies? Yeah, so I've got full. Should do a little bit of counter espionage here. But I can see, I have some information based on how good your espionage is. Like, I can see, for example, where their air forces are placed all through. So you can see they've actually got a fair amount of their air force out here. I can see they've got, well, that must be Bismarck and Tirpitz in Bordeaux. And yeah, and then they've got.
That's what's keeping the British busy. Okay.
Well, I don't even know. Let's take a look here. It's been a while since I looked at these. Let's take a look at the naval stats here. Yugoslavia's lost a bunch. Yeah, UK's lost a fair number of ships. Let's just sort by type here. Japan's lost a battleship, battlecruiser, and 2 battlecruisers. Germany's lost 2 battlecruisers. Japan has lost, that's a heavy cruiser. There's a British heavy cruiser. Japan's lost about 5 heavy cruisers. They're not doing so hot. As have the British and the French. Germany doesn't really have any capitals left except Bismarck, Tirpitz, and maybe 1 or 2 other heavy cruisers. Italy's lost a fair amount as well. Not as much as I would like to see, though. Looks like Italy is doing reasonably well, all things considered. Well, yeah. No, I'm only
seeing... If the game's fair, they can't let the...
Well, when the AI plays as the UK, the UK tends to take really heavy naval losses, which they did historically, of course. But when I play as the UK, I tend to lose about 5 ships the whole game, which almost gets boring at a certain point. But yeah, no, you can really mop up the Italians if you know what you're doing. The key, of course, is air power. The Germans peaked in 1940, 1941 or so. Yeah, I mean, might be able to argue they peaked in 1942. I think some people would argue 42. But on the other hand, by that point, by 1942, in some ways, I mean, wasn't it? I was just watching the World War II channel there. What's it called? And we're just finishing up the Battle of Stalingrad there, and it was Paulus that wargamed Operation Barbarossa, and he said it won't work. And that was like 6 months before they did it. And he, of course, was the general who surrendered in Stalingrad. But he told them a year before they went to Operation Barbarossa that they did not have the supply train to do it. Okay, we can't push anymore there. We've got to push a bit here.
Well, we are very lucky that, from that point of view, that they tried to do the impossible, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because on the one hand they tried to do the impossible. On the other hand, they also, I mean, their choice was, I think, even before America joined the war, I think they really had a choice between essentially trying to convince Britain to come to some kind of treaty or invading the Soviet Union, because they had no oil. They had no oil, and they were going to lose the naval blockade situation as they had in the First World War. There was just no capacity whatsoever for them to...
I agree with you. At the end of the day, probably all comes down to oil. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that it's definitely a big part of it, for sure. So they sort of in some ways they sort of had to. Okay, so it looks to me like the heavy armor has run away. Giovanni Colucci, welcome to the stream. It's the first time you've seen Hearts of Iron 3. You've played Hearts of Iron 4 with friends a few times, but I don't get much interested in the game. Hearts of Iron 3 is... there are things about it that are more interesting than Hearts of Iron 4. Hearts of Iron 4 has come a long way. It's getting... I would argue it's gotten probably better with the recent DLCs, especially the Man the Guns Naval DLC and the recent one, No Step Back, I think is going to bring some very interesting stuff. We need to... Okay, there's a heavy armor division. That's a problem. I'd like to get across this river here. Wait, but we're... Oh, god damn it. Okay, we really have to deal with this situation here. Can I attack there and there? Where do I have more troops that I can bring to that? Yeah, they're pushing in the middle here. It's actually kind of tricky right now. They don't have a high concentration of force though, so what's going on here?
I'm not feeling very happy with what that looks like.
Okay, let's stop that. Yeah, we just need to relocate some forces. I'm really hoping I can pull this encirclement off here, because every little bit helps. And then we're in Krakow, and the question is, in some ways we can almost let the Germans through here and then encircle them. It's just, we're just very weak here. Who can I move? Let's just take... I was kind of hoping to shore up this river here before withdrawing units off of that. Let's see if I can push that Bulgarian division back that way, and then...
That's the only thing I can say, because I haven't been watching, the map, like, every flippin' second. But it's beginning to look like a very jumbled straight line. I think we're We're biting more off more than we can chew. The front's kind of getting a little fragmented.
I don't think so. You know what? I just saw we stopped this
But-
advance here. Yeah, I forgot. I had 3 divisions coming into this area here. So it's
Okay.
here is the weak point for sure. This is where they can, and they've got their heavy armor there. So, but I think we push up to the river here. We're shoring up the front all along this river here. I don't think we're gonna make it this winter down all the way to like the Breslau here to what river is this? I can
Okay, so you're basically still in stop along the river mode. Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying
I just
now?
did like I
Okay,
thought we
okay.
were gonna go to this river, but I think we're gonna have to wait out until the spring on this river here. I don't think it's not as solid a position in a number of ways, but okay, these guys don't need to go that way. You can go there and then take a couple armored divisions. Now that I've gotten up here and send them down to like here. I'm gonna fuck up my order of battle again. But we'll figure it out. What have I got here? You, attack there. What are you doing? Okay. Yeah, we'll try and take an armored core and bring it down here and just shore this up. They'll get there soon enough.
Was that Berlin, that purple thing that is 2 provinces away from our... Wow, okay, shit.
That's Berlin right there. Yeah, we are 2 provinces away for sure. Would be easy to kind of push and get there, but
No,
not
I don't want to do
necessary.
anything stupid, but if nothing else, I want to have the privilege of at least taking it.
Oh, we
If
will.
were
We will
to
do that this
completely
evening.
lose, it would be...
we won't.
Still
We're
in
not
the
going to
front.
lose this war. And let's just take a
I
look
know.
at the overall picture here. We've got Germany's down to 1,291,000 manpower. We're at 1,730,000. So, and ours is probably growing much faster at this point. How much is it reinforced? Yeah, monthly gain 53. So
Yeah, okay.
yeah, we're winning the war of attrition. What's our leadership at? 27. Yeah, they've still got probably more leadership than us because they've still got parts of Poland and all of France and stuff. So it's you know what? It's still, I would say it's still in some ways a pitched battle. I think if I recall correctly, in the last couple streams, we just took so many German divisions off the map. I don't think they can replenish them. I don't think they can build fast enough. What's their IC? Their IC is 323. Ours is 292. But keeping in mind that they're also expending IC to fight the UK and the USA and stuff.
IC, sorry.
Industrial
IC
capacity.
stand? Okay.
So yeah, Giovanni, Hearts of Iron 3, it's you know, it's kind of old school in terms of its graphics and stuff like that, but it's a much more kind of granular. You do a lot more kind of manually in this than you do in Hearts of Iron 4, and that's something I like about it. I find with Hearts of Iron 4, and I've been playing it a lot lately. In the last few weeks, I've played a fair amount of Hearts of Iron
The
4.
timer running? Are things happening?
Yep.
Okay.
I've been finding with Hearts of Iron 4 that I'm perpetually frustrated by the automation that the AI does. Take you off that one and go. Oh no. Okay, you go there. Whoops. Okay, that's fine. Just take that armored division in there. And yeah, and so you know a lot of things are automated, and it's hard to like micromanage things in the way that I like to in this game. Not everyone likes to micromanage, and certainly I think they've done some good things to make a little bit less micromanagement than in this game, but I don't see any air combat. Oh yeah, we're bombing people. Okay, good. And I guess Blair, Eric, you I don't know if you're still there, but you mentioned about the NATO counters in Hearts of Iron 4. Yeah, when I first played Hearts of Iron 4, the first thing I did was turn off the 3D models and put the NATO counters back.
Oh.
NATO counters
Which
are
is
these
the way-
symbols.
Well, you see, I got into this back in the 70s when I played Blitzkrieg, which was a board game with pieces that, that's all the symbols that they had on them.
And those are NATO,
Yeah.
like the official NATO international.
So you didn't bother with anything called the headquarters unit. It was just infantry and paratroops.
Yeah,
and
well, Hearts of Iron 4 doesn't have
all that shit.
Yeah, Hearts of Iron
But
4
anyways.
doesn't have headquarter units either, so that kind of makes sense. What have I got here? Oh, I've got 2 infantry divisions. I'm going to put them in this fort in Lodge. And what have I got here? Let's take... Yeah, okay, let's just leave them there. If I can take this province... 18 hours they can attack. Or I can just move them somewhere else. looks like... Oh, wow, we've encircled at least 2 divisions, if not more, in this salient here. So, like, look at all these divisions that are going to be freed up. That's about 15 divisions that are going to be able to move up to the front.
I don't see the salient, but anyway, so...
Well, no, this pocket here, we've encircled, and there's like a whole bunch of HQ units, but also just...
there, there, okay, sorry.
Yeah, so basically, you know, yes, they're gonna make a bridgehead here, but I've got all this to throw at them, so not too worried about that. Not too worried about that. What's going on here? Okay, get that HQ unit at a battle.
A nice clean nibble.
I've got a big concentration here as well, so let's just move those guys down there, and I don't want to push into the mountain actually to the mountains with armor, so I'll move the infantry there, and the armor can go down here. And we are across the river here, so that's kind of interesting. We may be able to push further in the south than in the north, as you suggested. Looks like this pocket is closing unless they can escape into... I don't think they can escape into Romania. I don't think so. But we better push fast in case they get transit rights with Romania. Now we're losing something. Oh, it's just this battle. Okay, we're winning all of our battles. What's this? Oh, that's the Japanese. Okay, I don't even want to know what's going over there. I'm just going to scroll away from the eastern side. We'll deal with that in 1943. We'll deal with that in 1943 when Japan's at the Urals. Yeah.
How long is it going to take for the Persia plan to actually have the troops in place, like the upgrade?
April.
Because we're April, and we're right now in late fall, right, or something?
No, we're in January.
Okay.
So it's not that bad.
Right.
Where's the? I just want to make sure the correct ones are. Yeah, my whole Central Asian army is being upgraded and will be ready by April.
No, that's great.
Okay. All right. So this pocket is now. Oh shit! They got. Oh no, we're good. We're good. Come on, close it up. Close it up. Okay, we got some free armor up here. Let's start. Okay, stop attacking across the river. Thank you. And where was it that we were falling apart here? It was here. Okay, so these guys... I had 2 armor moving down this way. You guys can actually stay up here, because I've got more than what I need down here. I don't need to screw up my order of battle and divert that many troops. Okay, these guys here. 1, 2, 3. And then we'll move these guys over there. And that should do it. Is anybody moving down there? Yeah, okay. Okay.
What clock are we running on right now?
Speed 4, I think.
Okay.
I don't want to speed 5 it, otherwise shit'll get weird. Let me double check. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't give you the speed indicator in this one unless you're unpaused, which is kind of annoying. Something EU4 did really great, which was to allow you to see what speed you're on before you unpause. So I just hit plus, 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 minus or something to make sure I'm on the second highest speed. Okay, what's going on here? Your goods. I think this is a pretty big pocket here if we keep it shut. What's going on here? Ooh, they're trying to push through. They're definitely trying to push through. Okay. Do I have any divisions? It doesn't matter because I'm gonna win this battle before they win. In the south there. Yeah. We've got it. I'm just curious if my interceptors... Yeah, my interceptors are working. Okay.
And we're going to get another airport. That's always handy.
Yeah, Oh, that's where... Oh, this one here? Yeah, I think that's a... What size that one
No, there's 2 then.
That's a size 4 one. That's good. That's useful. Okay, what's going on up here? Oh yeah, okay, that pocket is clear. We're just going to reinforce in the center here, and we can probably then push in the north here. Probably due south. Yeah, due south and do some kind of encirclement there. I think that's the smart move.
When are you going to start cutting? Oh, okay.
But I don't know that the winter is the best time to do it. We'll see. It might. We're not going to sit on our hands and do nothing, so. Certainly getting to a very stable, potentially stable front line anyway. Okay, let's push more here. See how far we can get here.
What was the dotted line for?
The dotted line where? Oh, that was just the front that I was proposing that we get to by the end of the winter, which it's actually looking like we might be able to do. It's just here that our front is collapsing, and I've got troops on the way.
Yep, no, that's fine.
Yeah. What's that? New Zealand wants energy. Okay. Are they winning up here? Yeah, they are. Okay. Sweet. Right. Yeah, you don't get this kind of I feel like this level of detail you don't get in Hearts of Iron 4. You can micromanage parts of the front. And what's interesting in Hearts of Iron 4 is that your front line is kind of largely automated. So you intervene where you want to personally intervene, and then you know your units are a little bit more able to kind of do things on their own, which is cool, which is I like about it. But sometimes I find it's very frustrating to get your units to do what you actually want them to do. Looks like we're gonna surround Krakow here, potentially anyway. If I took this armor and pushed there.
Well, that would be good because taking a city is not easy, right?
Yeah, we can. Looks like we'll get it on that side, and then we can maybe push the armor through here. We got a river blocking us here. Let's take an infantry division there. Move both those units forward. Are you gonna hold out? Oof, that's looking rough. I'm just wondering if we're gonna be able to complete this encirclement. And I don't want those divisions to get encircled. Yeah, okay, wait a second. We can counterattack here. That'll do it. Did they give up? Oh, wait. We're gonna hold on. Who's that general? Okay, well, we're killing them at a 2-to-1 rate here.
I mean, if you just have to wait till like that southern pocket goes away and you can swing more troops.
Yeah, I want to encircle all this, and I don't think they're able to escape to Romania, so I really want to encircle.
And why are we going to Romania?
Well, we're not going to Romania. Romania's neutral, so I don't think the Germans can. If I read the.
Yeah.
Oh, OBP Super Gamer, be back later for sure. We'll be here. Where's this? Okay, perfect. So that we're pushing now around.
We're gonna be here for a while. I figure we're not gonna. What year is this?
41. It'll go faster in the summer, though. Oh, wait, we have a weak spot in our front here. That's annoying. Okay. Well, that's actually going to be a real sideshow here. Let's just take... You go there, and you go there. That'll solve that problem. Just didn't realize I had a weak... Okay, spot.
The yellow units are Romania, and we're still...
No,
so far not.
The yellow units... Romania's not in the war, so that's why I thinned this front down to basically nothing. Because they're not in the war, and they're not probably gonna be. And if they could join the Axis, what's the diplomatic situation? No, I say Romania is like split between the Allies and the Axis, so I don't see them joining the Axis anytime soon.
Okay.
They're just too neutral. Actually, they're not neutral. They just don't like anyone. Okay. Unless Germany...
all those troops are wasted then. Oh.
Well, unless Germany... Well, we can't leave that border unmanned in case Germany and Yugoslavia... Because Germany and Yugoslavia could attack Romania from the south. And the problem with these Balkan states is that, like, it doesn't matter how weak Germany is, they can still conquer one of them. Because all it takes is, like, a handful of motorized units to just, you know... Well, because they've got to cover their other front, too. In fact, I think if Germany were to attack Romania... Oh, we can't attack because they would join the Allies. We couldn't attack at the same time. How we doing here? This guy's got to hold on. Just trying to see if I can fix this core here, get a better guy in charge. Let's put this Romanenko guy in charge. That should help.
Get rid of.
Oh, Okay, you move forward. What's going on here? Do we plug this hole here?
You can get rid of that arrow, you know.
This
Look
arrow
what's
here?
over that. No, the big like battle plan arrow. It sort of obscures all.
Oh,
Anyways.
this guy here. Yeah, I think I can get rid of that. There we go. Because that encirclement is basically done. And we're kind of setting up what might be a little encirclement here. Do we have a war goal on Slovakia? That's a country we can easily. Let's conquer Slovakia.
Where is Slovakia?
Slovakia is this
Exactly.
little chunk here. It was made into an independent state when Germany conquered Czechoslovakia.
Oh,
Okay.
I don't know. How can Europe be that confusing? Jesus.
I mean, lots of reasons. You've played EU4. You should know why.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know.
Okay, let's. Do I need more infantry down here? Wouldn't hurt. Okay, we'll move you down there, and then these guys are under attack. Okay, that's fine. Ooh, interesting. Okay, so they've pushed us back here, but we've pushed them back across the river. Just kind of cycling around there. I can't make it across this river here to encircle them. Nah. We're just going to have to hang tight here for now. This is where Germany seems to be mostly concentrating their forces. This is basically empty. Right near Berlin, yeah. Wow, there's nothing here. Okay, that's free. That's a free province. Okay.
Where's the free province?
Here, there's no one there. Nobody's home. Okay. These guys can move there.
Yeah, they're just defending Berlin is what they're doing. I mean,
Yep.
at a certain point, you'd think that even the AI is going to have a bias to defend the capital.
I think so, yeah. I think they do, for sure. Okay, we need to move this armor up here. This armor... move it up here. Deal with this situation. We'll move some divisions back.
Well, we
down
never... I mean, we didn't go into this truly expecting that we really, really, really would get that far that fast. That far east, I don't think. So focusing on the south and having to tidy that up and actually get rid of the units.
All right, there's another encirclement. This one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 divisions. So that's great. We're just chewing through. I mean, we're chewing.
Where?
Here. This is an encirclement of 5 divisions. And we've got
wow.
these are all dead too. These ones have nowhere to retreat to. So
yeah, you can get rid of the battle plan. It would be helpful to get rid of those arrows of the battle plan, just because
we'll just hide it for now. But it is actually useful. But yeah, we don't really need it because we're just gonna make our way up to this river basically. And I think we'll attack from the south because we can actually attack along the river here and encircle like this salient here. So we've actually let them push us back a bit here, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, they've pushed us all the way back to Warsaw here, but they're super exposed, right? We can just push through here. In fact,
we actually want to be porous. The way our units are spread out, we want to absorb them like an amoeba.
Pretty much.
And we can't do it on the north, anyways. I mean, north is just holding on, I think, for the most part, until the osmosis, so to speak.
Okay, let's throw some extra units in there, pin them down. Okay, we've sent them back across the river here. Okay.
See, the thing is, from a spectator sport, so to speak, the map at one level is oppressive with its information and yet not informative, right? I mean, the provinces there, lots of long names and blah, blah, blah. But in terms of truly showing how you're nibbling off some of these salients, no, it's not really clear.
It's not the clearest map. The Hearts of Iron 4 map, that's another thing I noticed, the Hearts of Iron 4 map. They took the names off the provinces altogether. The regions have names, not actual provinces, and then they put cities on the map, which does make sense. I think it does look better in that sense, but it has a weird filter over it. There's other problems with the Hearts of Iron 4 map.
Mm-hmm.
Neither one is perfect.
I must say that's complete, non sequitur. That is the one thing I truly appreciate with Civ 6 is the sophistication of the user interface and the map itself. Its clarity.
Yeah, overall,
Overall,
I think the Civilization series has largely, like, Paradox has always struggled with user interface. It's like a.
Once you get used to it, I'll give Paradox credit. It has its own thing and it functions.
Yeah, I feel like Paradox does.
But I never feel like it excels. What it excels at is this independent action by Arnie's. This like, I want you to go do this, and your ability to say that, and something almost useful happens.
Yeah, I mean, I think what's interesting about Paradox is from my point of view, what they've done is they've been struggling with the same set of UI problems for the last decade and a half, and I think what they've done is they've created some sort of means of dealing with it for their experienced player base and stuff like that. But they haven't solved a lot of the core problems, whereas I feel like Civilization solved a lot of its core UI problems, like back in the Civilization 3 days. They just
really?
Well, they had a lot more money and resources to work on it. I mean, Paradox is a fairly big studio now, but until they released their last few games, I mean, Hearts of Iron 3 was not a blockbuster game. What I'm playing right now, I mean, it was certainly.
Oh no! It's niche. It's
a niche. Now EU4 is
totally niche. It's like my Assetto.
Assetto Corsa, yeah, your ACC for racing, yeah. Yeah, I think though, I think that they they just haven't had that many successful years to really deal with these problems, and they've gotten better. I mean, EU4.
No, and the other thing too is you get a little locked in because you have a sort of successful game.
Yeah.
You have a core of users. You don't want to completely fuck around with the UI because
exactly.
You want them just to adapt to the next game. But if you didn't get it really good the first time, you sort of.
Well, so for instance,
you tie your hands, right?
Yeah, I think well, a good example of that is so one of the things that makes it hard for me to get into Hearts of Iron 4 is like the early Paradox, all these Paradox games that I've spent a lot of time playing, like Hearts of Iron 3 and EU3 and EU4. There's the pop up and pause mechanic, like with these guys here. And so you'll notice that I'm constantly just unpausing and pausing and unpausing and pausing. Well, Hearts of Iron 4 seems to have been developed with multiplayer in mind, which is cool, because they finally made a game that I think is, in many ways, a good multiplayer game. Better than U4 anyway. But it basically never pauses. It's just kind of always rolling, even on single player. And I
the U4 multiplayer. I wonder if anybody truly streams it. Probably.
I mean, it's popular. EU4, it is reasonably popular multiplayer, but Hearts of Iron 4 multiplayer it's probably the game that they've made that has gone the furthest towards, really, really playable multiplayer. It's designed to just keep rolling, and so much of what is happening is automated on some level that you're really just you're doing key interventions and kind of planning. Instead of. Like you're actually doing a lot more of this stuff. Like the production interface is a lot more detailed in Hearts of Iron 4, but you're doing a lot less of this, clicking, pointing units around and stuff. Which, again, is just different. I used to really feel this game was better, but they've just added more stuff and they've made Hearts of Iron 4 more interesting. We have an Polish uprising. Where? Oh, okay. Well, our militia dealt with it. Okay, interesting. Okay, how's this air combat going? We are actually shredding their air force because they're probably really spread thin on the two-front war. They're still counterattacking here, but this is fine. We'll let them have this salient, and we'll try and cut them off. Because as soon as they're encircled here, well, actually, really, as soon as this is closed up here, we'll be in a good shape to.
What date is it?
It is still January 1931.
Okay.
Let's
1941.
See. 1941, yeah. How easy would it be to grab... it's not that easy, actually. Because we could do an invasion through the south and get rid of Hungary and Slovakia, at which point we'd be really laughing. But Yugoslavia is in the war too, so that doesn't really help us. That just opens up that just lengthens the front for us as well. Okay, that encirclement's done. That frees up a fair amount of resources. Well, it's not quite done. We've still got this stuff to deal with. Just take a quick look at our... Oh, interesting. What's going on here? Huh. Yeah, okay, they're fighting they're fighting an uprising in this Lithuanian city here. Very interesting. Trying to make sure nothing's, yeah, that's much nicer. There's no red lines. Okay. Yeah, definitely possible to...
So how many months is that, sorry, months. How many days is that going to take though? Like we're going to be done there at the end of January, I hope?
Done where?
In the south there?
Oh yeah, I think so. This is all this is all going pretty well up here. Push you back. These guys are moving in there. I can probably take... What's the terrain like here? Oh yeah, it's actually mountainous, so it's gonna take a while. Let's go here and here.
Okay, just pause for a second.
Yep.
Where is there easy terrain to actually push through that front line and create a salient?
In the north. I mean, this is the plains, right? This sort of pale gray or whatever you want to call it color is the plains. So really, it's Berlin at this point. We've got this long diagonal front. Of course, pushing in the north.
The gray is plain. Okay, that's better. I can. Okay.
And this is all mountains, and the brown is hills, and then it's sort of forests and hills in the Carpathians here, which is not the end of the world. There's certainly areas we can push in the south.
Okay, so if we just don't move the map for a minute, you see that there's mountains in the center of Germany. What are those, by the way?
Mountains in the center of Germany? These are hills. These are the...
Oh, sorry, hills. The brown. Yeah, okay, sorry, not mountains.
Wait, are these the... Sorry, these are the Carpathians. Wait a second.
Yes,
those are the
I was getting confused.
I was getting confused too. Technically, these are not the Carpathians. These are the...
Those are hills.
Yeah, you know, Lucario, you pointed it out. Your front line is currently at the Tatra and Carpathian Mountains. Once past those, it's geographic smooth sailing in the Pannonian Plain. Yeah, I don't know what this... Like, this is a continuation of the Carpathians, but it goes all the way to, like, up into Bohemia here.
But it's not...
I don't know what those are called.
Okay.
I don't know what those are called in Bohemia. I guess they're just the Bohemian.
And I got tricked by the colors. Okay.
Yeah, is it just the Bohemian Alps? No, the Bohemian Alps are down there. I don't know. Or are there Bohemian Alps? I don't know. I can't remember what they're called, but they're a bit of. They're sort of the same chain as the Carpathians.
What are those hills in the center of Germany, though? That's what I'm getting. Is that the...
In the center of Germany? That's near Hanover. I think those are just hills. I don't know.
Okay.
If anyone who's viewing knows about the hills near Hanover in Germany, you know, let us know. Lots of places we could, lots of places we could push here. There's also kind of salients forming there. Those are the Ore Mountains, says Lucario. Interesting.
Yeah, they did have silver mines and...
Silver mines in Austria, right? Okay, our tactical bombers are taking a little bit of a beating here. Just cancel those for now. And they're still pushing with that stupid heavy armor division. I've never been a big fan of how armor works in these games. They have this, like, Hearts of Iron has this thing, it's like, every division has like an armor stat and a piercing stat. And it's basically like, well, if you can't pierce the armor, you get a bunch of really bad debuffs. But that just doesn't ring true to me. I feel like World War II was not won by the people who made the best tanks. It was won by the ones who could supply the fuel to those tanks. You could really win tank battles with inferior tanks through superior, logistics, basically. And so this idea that, like, whoever makes the chunkiest tank, is going to win the battle is just kind of goofy, frankly.
No. Actually, it's, the most annoying thing about the whole Allied armored thing is, in many respects, the Sherman was the wrong tank, but it was the right tank if you had a Firefly gun in it. The
Well, but
British
it didn't. It also.
17-pounder.
It
The
also.
British 17-pounder could pick off Panther tanks at 2,000 yards. It
Sure.
was just, and if they'd have done that very aggressively, I think it would have been a completely different story because, one, the British armor in some places and Canadian armor could have held back a bit.
Well, I mean, but the biggest thing,
taking out positions from a distance and vehicles.
Sure. But I mean, but all of that discussion is a moot point, though, because the reality is what the Allies had that the Germans didn't have was trucks. To bring food and supplies and everything along the whole line. They
had trucks, they had airplanes. I mean, you name it, they had it, right?
Exactly. It's just all that material is so much more important than what gun you have on a tank.
No, there's only so many tanks and men you can replace.
Sure.
And it was an easy thing to repair and keep going and what have you. And I sure as hell really wouldn't have been a big fan of being a tanker.
No. But I just mean on the grand scale of things. Germany at the time when Germany invaded France had better tanks than Germany. When Germany invaded the Soviet Union had better tanks than Germany. They were able to pull off those invasions not because they had some kind of, better guns or better armor or anything like that. It was because they had momentum, they had a certain tactical advantage, and that very quickly dried up when they ran into logistical problems. They easily could have lost the Battle of France. In fact, if the French leadership hadn't been sitting, and the French and British leadership hadn't been sitting on their hands, there's no reason they should have won the Battle of France. Even in the Battle of France, they had severe logistical issues where, they were stopped in a traffic jam for like 2 days after they pushed through Sedan or whatever. They really easily could have lost that battle. So that's what I'm saying. What's that?
That the same thing happened to a certain degree in Battle of the Bulge. They got themselves congested somehow too, but
they did not have the logistics and supply train to follow through. Like the German war machine only worked for sort of 2 weeks at a time, or a month at a time. And
I would disagree with you that the Soviets had better tanks than them at the start of the war.
Not in 39, but by 41, the Soviets didn't have a lot of them in the front lines.
By the time the Soviets came out with their own true tank.
Well, the Soviets had something like 4 times as many tanks as the Germans on the front. It's just that it was the disorganization of the Red Army, not it wasn't some. I mean, look, it's not to negate the technological advances or whatever. You don't win wars by inventing better tanks. You win wars by being able to supply them. That's sort of how I see it. And so it's I get a little bit tired in these games when so much emphasis is put on who has the chunkiest tanks.
I would only push back and say in so much as the differential with the 88, given the nature of the battlefield and the nature of also the German tanks meant that the Allies paid a very high price very quickly.
Yeah.
When they got it wrong. I mean, at the end of the day, they didn't break through with armor, and
they broke through with air power.
They broke through with bombers, heavy bombers.
And even think of how many times you'll see these people debating the virtues of the Spitfire versus the BF-109 versus the American planes and stuff like that.
It only matters if you're following a guy going at 250 miles an hour on his tail or trying to escape.
Well, it only matters. It only matters if you have tens of thousands of reserve pilots and an unlimited capacity to produce aircraft, right? And which Germany never did. So they could make all the fancy jets they wanted. They didn't have fuel to fuel them, and they didn't have pilots to fly them. And they could not produce the aircraft. It didn't matter how good your technology was. I mean, okay, what I want to do here is try and encircle these guys. But what's going on? I'm pushing down here.
They got really pinched there. They really did have to sort of which is not the way to use aircraft. Hold on to it and throw it like a, I don't know, like a special battalion, you know, rather than being there as a constant annoyance. I mean, it's like those Russian female pilots used to bomb at night. I mean, they were always there. They did a perfect job of just driving them nuts.
Well, yeah, I mean, I also think, I think the air war, though, I guess the point I was trying to make is that the air war comes down to industrial capacity, to a certain degree. Obviously, there are certain key technologies that you have to master, or that you had to master back then. It's very different now, I think, but you know, back then there were certain.
I think you have to be successful enough. However, whatever the differential is, whether it's a, you know, shall we say, things like radar, seeing the enemy versus taking it out versus whatever, because you will run out of men.
Well,
yeah. You know, granted, the logistical, we get all that. You got to have enough toys.
But I think actually for the Germans, it was men and fuel. I think if they'd had enough fuel.
Oh, they lost a lot of pilots.
They lost a lot of pilots, but they also couldn't.
To no end.
They couldn't, and they couldn't train pilots because they had the fuel shortage was one of the main reasons they couldn't train pilots. They were putting new pilots up with very few flying hours because they could not use the fuel to train pilots. Whereas the British and Americans had basically unlimited reserves of fuel throughout the war. So they were able to constantly train new pilots and cycle out the veteran pilots who had been, you know, who they were able to give leave basically, which the Germans past a certain point basically were completely unable to do. You know,
yes,
their experience.
Still, I mean, if we look at it proportionally, the highest losses, as far as I can recollect, in the Canadian forces during the war actually were Bomber Command.
Yeah.
It wasn't as bad as the German submarines, but it was surprisingly close.
Yeah, well, that's because they were bombing unescorted, like they were just flying into enemy territory with no defenses whatsoever. The defenses on, you know, when they built the flying fortress actually was a real joke in a certain sense, because nothing about, you know, there was really nothing protecting you from fighter attack in those ridiculous 4-engine bombers. I mean, you know, they were just they were doing a very cold hard calculation. If we send 1,000 bombers and 400 get through, that how many bombs do we drop on Germany, right? I mean, it was they were not really.
But certainly they had the machine gun power to put, you know, some heat into. They didn't make attacking the bombers any easier.
Yeah, I think by the end of the war, and certainly, I mean, obviously by the end of the war there was the atomic bomb and stuff, but I think post World War II, bombing doctrine moved away from that kind of carpet bombing to the same degree anyway, and was done with much more precision. I mean, a bomber like the Mosquito was something that could defend itself, and that could fly quickly and really almost at parity with anything that could attack it, and you know.
Yeah, I doubt it could have the strength of.
No, it didn't have the bomb load of the larger ones.
No. I mean, in true dogfighting at speed, it basically could run away from anything.
Yeah.
And if it got behind it, it could put a hole in it and then run away.
No. It didn't have the firepower to shoot down
fire. Oh,
fighters.
it had cannons. It had cannons.
Yeah, I mean, by the time they were using Mosquitoes, though, I think most aircraft had. Most of the Allied aircraft by that point had cannons. But yeah. Thankfully, it doesn't. This weird Allied territory thing doesn't seem to be fucking with the supply system, which it sometimes does. But we should keep an eye on that for sure. Okay, so I've got another encirclement here. I don't know if I'm gonna make it though. I don't think I have enough. In fact, that division's a little bit isolated. Could be though. We could do an encirclement of Krakow. What's going on up here?
Is that Krakow?
That's Krakow there.
Oh, okay. So it is a salient, really.
Yep.
It's going to be like the siege of Warsaw or something ugly.
Don't think
The
so.
siege.
They're mostly running away. They're mostly trying to clear out their troops, but they'll leave a division or two there, and I'll try and. I'm having supply issues. What's going on with that? Is it just low infrastructure? Yeah, pretty much. Really bad infrastructure. Okay. Yeah, we definitely don't want to push in the south, if only because the infrastructure is so piss poor. Oh, it's mostly just damaged, but still, there's getting into the yellow zone here. What's going on here? Is this? Okay, that's also been bombed, probably. Okay.
Actually, watching this and listening to this discussion, I still want you to watch me play Humankind.
For sure, I'd like to check it out.
But the conflict is absolutely the opposite, and probably will annoy you no end. And I must say, troops versus area of battle conflict versus picturing mobility and crap like that. That aspect of it can be a little bit annoying. Lines of sight, They have some really neat many graduations in their conflict units. And I won't even bother to describe the battle other than you really are literally placing every single unit, which is, unless you hit the automate button. And the automate button, even with the predominance of force, is wasteful of troops.
Yeah, well, that's the case in this game too. I mean, probably at this point in the campaign, I could probably just select this theater and automate it there, and then just go on speed 5 and watch the troops carve across it, but you'll just see the manpower going right down. Whereas, like, doing it manually like this, you save a lot of manpower by only attacking,
And yet, other times it will tell you, well, it's evenly matched, and it's 4 versus 4, and like you're, at least a full technology of probably 2 technologies ahead of the other unit. And of course it's, you don't even hardly get dinged. And yet it's telling you, even Steven, hard to describe Humankind other than it's like your stacks running in to each other here. And then all of a sudden the battle area zooms out and would cover 20 provinces, and you would place individual units amongst that terrain and then conduct the battle, fire the range units.
Yeah, I've seen a few videos of it, but I'd be interested to watch for sure. That could be cool. What do those colors indicates? Which colors? Yeah. I looked at a few things here. This was the Naval Map mode, so I was just seeing what our useless fleet was doing quickly. So
actually, our fleet deserves kudos, because who the hell ever heard of the Russian Navy in World War II? And they actually did something. They contributed to a campaign or two. So I'm going to give them full marks. You be nice to them.
The Navy, yeah.
Because
it's interesting. I've tried a number of times. Like I've started a game as the Soviets in this game a number of times with the express goal of, like, I want to be the Soviets, but I want to have a strong Navy, and it's just you can't.
It's impossible.
Well, you can do it, but the problem is that you just make the land fight for yourself so much harder by doing that. Like, it's not that you're not able to do it. You certainly can catch up. You have the industrial capacity to, like, build aircraft.
No, because all you can do is annoy your opponent. You can't truly make it part of the conquering effort. Whereas
the green and yellow map, is the infrastructure map. I think this is the one you're talking about, Lucario. So green is high infrastructure, red is low infrastructure, black is impassable, basically, by any division. So
what? So you're telling me everything black to the south of those guys, they can't?
No. That's just the fog of war. So we can see some green patches here where we're getting some intel, but yeah, no. Okay. That's just the fog of war. So lots
of detail, lots of colors, but I never know what map mode it's in, so I really never.
No, yeah, I mean, if you haven't played before, certainly it's a lot to look at. I will say that the map is, while the map is quite busy in this game, it is ultimately, in my view, actually a bit clearer than Hearts of Iron 4's. You can see some very granular detail on this map that you can't see in. You stay there. Okay, we've encircled another. How many divisions here? Looks like there's 1, 2, 3 divisions. Not so bad. We are really chewing through, and some of these are German divisions. We've got some Italian Looks like we've got an Italian core there too, but... Okay. We really are... What I'd like to do here... Nice. Okay, they've left a gap in their lines. I don't think I can push, though. What I would like to do is get behind this.
How long is that little blob able to just sit there like that? Well, you have to be squishing on it, right? Like a pimple, but...
Oh, this encirclement here?
Yeah, like how long is that gonna...
Well, we'll find out. I just attacked them.
Okay.
Are they retreating somewhere? No, okay, they're not.
No, so...
Hey, there's the battle. Not long. They're being attacked. See, look at all the modifiers here, like envelopment penalty, combined arms. Doesn't look too bad, actually. But, yeah, we're getting...
They're surrounded, so...
Well, they're in an urban environment. They're in an urban fortified environment, so... It definitely helps them. Like, you can see the Warsaw battle's taking a little bit longer here. Even though there's fewer men there. Oh, I've got some armor divisions I can move forward here. Let's keep the armor rolling, shall we? Okay. I think we need it up here.
It must be weird, though, to be surrounded in a city like that, to be shelled and...
Oh, yeah, it would, weird is an understatement, I think.
No, I think we have a hard time, actually, because we're very fortunate to actually put our heads in that space where we can even imagine to what degree you feel fear or, you know, etc., etc.
Yeah, it probably depends on... I think it probably depends on the person, but also I would imagine that, like, you wouldn't know how you would react to that until you were in that situation. Like, you know, if you're in fucking Stalingrad, I think you would, you know, you would either adapt or you would lose your shit and you know, really...
Well, yeah, at least from some sources of information, the degree of choice to which you're able to, quote, adapt.
Yeah.
You know...
Yeah, no, I mean, adapt's not even... I wouldn't even... Adapt is sort of not even the right word, right? It's just sort of like, you either end up...
Shit-ass luck. Shit-ass luck is, I think, one way of putting it.
Yeah.
You know, bad luck for being there, and but extraordinarily good luck if you lived.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, I think in Stalingrad, for the Russians anyway, I think at that point, by the end of the battle, I guess at the midpoint of the battle, I think they just sort of, I guess you would just sort of decide if you live through it that long, you just sort of decide that that's your whole life. You've got to win that battle, you know. I don't know. I think that's the only way you could get through it, is if it completely, the idea.
I mean, certainly the way history has portrayed it from our perspective, that there was a certain lack of choice in the whole thing, in so much as they did a perfect job of you know, putting people in places where they had to resist. They weren't given any choice.
I don't know. It's a little bit confusing. There's the whole no step back, not one step back order where they were, you know, and they talked about. I've heard a few things about those, what they called the blocking brigades or whatever, where they would prevent their own men from retreating. But I've heard that that's a bit of a myth. Actually, I'm not sure.
No. I mean, just simply in terms of, certainly there always were fairly thoroughly policed back areas to military fronts. I mean,
I feel like
but you know, it's not like they're going to encourage desertion.
No.
But you know, no, it was probably the right spot, right time to do it too.
Yeah, actually, what's interesting, one of the interesting things about Stalingrad, I've been watching that World War II channel from Time Ghost, and they're at that point in the war now. What's interesting is Stalingrad is after the Russians encircled Stalingrad, they were doing stuff up in the north that was actually much more of a meat grinder, where there were more Russians dying up there, and they were really in order to pin down huge portions of the German the German army. They were basically just pushing them into, you know, pushing them into the enemy nonstop in the north while they were doing Stalingrad. But they broke the German army's back.
Yeah. Well, it was a big enough loss that, you know, it was not like any propaganda of any scale was going to.
Okay, we're getting a stacking penalty here of 18%. Let's take.
That's a bad number.
Yeah.
They weren't going to hide it from the public at large. Let's put it that way.
The Germans?
Yeah, no. It
Wait a second.
like,
Who just joined the Allies? Bolivia. Okay, that's not important.
A non-event.
Sorry if there are any Bolivians watching. Not going to affect my war. Okay, we got that stacking penalty down to 1%. Thank you. That's what was really hurting. Do I have? I'm just wondering in my land. Oh, what's
our leadership? Out of curiosity, and where will it ever get to?
We're at 28 right now. As we conquer more territory, we'll get more leadership. We've got a maxed out.
Okay. Is that going to be the main? Is that going to be the main driver now?
Well, I mean, leadership helps us do research. I'd completely forgotten to look at it, and we've now got an officer ratio that's well above what it needs to be, which is good. So we'll switch over to doing some research now.
Oh, good. So we can either have higher quality units or whatever. But
exactly.
Okay.
So let's actually upgrade. These our infantry techs are behind. What have I got in here that I maybe don't want to be researching? No, this is all good. Artillery would be nice. I don't need any naval stuff. Skip right over that.
Yeah.
God, it's insane. Like as a Soviet Union, even if you want to try and do like a balanced playthrough, it's just not even possible. You could probably build some battleships and stuff. You could probably build like a coastal navy that could be effective. Maybe we'll try that someday. What do we got here? Better fighters would be nice. Starting to upgrade our bombers as well, which is nice. Oh, combat medicine? Might as well. Agriculture, yeah, I'm going to start working on that because I neglected this stuff. This stuff increases your manpower or reduces the rate at which it's lost. And, you know, we don't have that big of a manpower gap between us and the Germans. Okay, what else have I got here? Elastic defense? No, I don't think so.
What's this about the gap? Not.
Well, the Germans are at 1271. We're at 1726. Now I'm encircling divisions left, right, and center, so I'm not too worried about it. But okay. I had previously.
That hasn't changed.
Yeah.
That was the same, roughly the same number. Maybe our attrition is a tiny bit higher than theirs. I don't think so.
We'll stick nuclear research in there just for fun.
Why? Why are we wasting research?
It's at the bottom of the queue. Okay. What else have we got here?
I don't think I quite get your queue in the same way. Okay.
Yeah. I'll just put
how production's being divided.
I'll just put some. There we go. So that's fine. I just want to make sure there's lots of stuff in there because we're going full out research. Let's see here.
You'd be blown away by the difference in gameplay between Civ 5 and Civ 6.
Yeah, I bet. It's true that I have never played.
Totally different
Civ
game.
6.
I mean, you go for as many cities as you can manage. You only stop making cities, you know, if for all intents and purposes you can't get it to a district.
That being said,
It's amazing.
That being said, I mean, the Civilization series has kind of alternated between games where, like in Alpha Centauri and in Civ, all the way up to about Civ 4, I feel like you always wanted to have more cities, and then they tried to make wide play more viable in
Not
Civ
wide play,
5.
you mean tall play.
Tall play, yeah. What's going on here? They're still trying to push through with their panzer divisions. Why are they getting a bonus? Defender damage bonus, stacking penalty. We're still having a bit of a stacking penalty. That should go away soon, though. Did I research the one that reduces stacking penalties? That's what I want to know. Yes. Okay.
trying to take the city back. Maybe? I don't know.
They're just pushing wherever they think there's a weak spot. But they're not going to succeed. Oh yeah, they're miles from the city. Interesting though, I am having trouble. Yeah, we need to upgrade our techs for sure, because that is definitely a sign that our infantry is not as well equipped as theirs, that's for sure. Mind you, there's not that many German divisions left. A lot of the divisions we're fighting are Italian, Bulgarian, Yugoslavian. So...
No,
okay,
I mean...
Oh, they're attacking.
I mean, it's got to be infantry, and the only other thing, it's a trade-off between, do you put any emphasis on artillery now versus armor, or, because as you said, you don't need heavy armor, you need good medium armor.
Generally, yeah. And generally in this game, the heavy armor just costs too much, and it just...
Right, so basically it's, is there a doctrine you're investing in that's dealing with armor or infantry instead?
Yeah, there's that for sure. We need to increase our doctrines and what are our doctrines like? Actually, the doctrines are not that bad. Let's grab that and that. Here, I'll get rid of some of the silly ones here. What's our air combat
I mean,
experience?
It's not a static war right now, but it's like we're finally, like we're almost a net ahead, like we're making our first profit. Not that our victories didn't count for anything, but like on the technical and leadership and everything front, like, now if we just make the right choices,
this is a wild counterattack here. They really have me pinned down here, but they're not gonna win.
No,
so.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. This is why you were good doing the river thing. Sooner or later, the resistance
Yeah, we are in a kind of undefended spot there. So let's actually get up to this river here. The armor can go there. There we go. And we're having more infantry arrive as well. We really do need to... The problem is that this armored division here is just sitting in this tile and I can't attack it. Okay, what are these guys doing here? Let's get you going. What's the stacking penalty on that? Ooh, 10%. Let's take one out. Still 10%.
I would say when it's micromanagement per unit combat, I don't think anybody's beaten Civ 5 in terms of just
yeah, they do
general execution.
Yeah, I mean, I always found that Civilization 5, what I liked the best about it is it was like a really big game of chess. It was like a really big game of chess with a with those sort of tiles instead of squares, and that's what I liked about it. Okay, we've got
possession, conflict. You absolutely had to take different approaches if you were to win by different victory conditions.
Sure, yeah. But I mean, in terms, I was just talking about in terms of the combat. In this game, our cores are getting separated.
Oh yeah, no, the combat was definitely a learned experience if you're doing it by yourself. And early days, it paid to pay attention and think things through, or it was very painful to go to war. It was seldom a pleasant experience. Unavoidable often, but if you wanted to play the aggressor in your early Civ 5 campaign, I suspect you ran into more frustration than success.
Yeah, there was a lot of like, I think I remember back when I was playing it, it seemed to me that like 9 times out of 10, depending on your starting location and who you were playing as, you're better to go a little tall before you expanded, Wow. Okay, so that was a really, really big battle. Okay, fall of Singapore. They took all of Malaysia, so I'm not.
Oh, come on! Let's just for a little bit of light diversion, we should take a look on the east and just see what's happening there.
Oh, for
Been
sure.
what, couple months?
You know what? Actually, since I automated the theater and stopped trying to micromanage it myself,
It's been doing better. I noticed it seems to have a front line.
yeah,
I don't know. It's
exactly.
not moving.
Yeah, because we lost a bunch of divisions out here, and then I assigned a bunch to it, and the armor seems to be, yeah, the army seems to be reasonably well positioned. Well, they're in the mountains, but whatever. They do seem.
Did try to.
It was because I was managing the two fronts at once, and it's just too much. And like, this is such a, like, I'm not seeing the Japanese are definitely more numerous than us, but like, not by such a degree that they.
No, the good news. No, the good. Huh. Interesting.
This is
So
where
that is...
this is what worries me here. This is Mongolia. Mongolia is like a puppet state, and there's very little going on down here. I can see actually that's where the mountain divisions are going, which is good, because I could definitely see the Japanese slowly moving up around here.
We don't have some mountains in our defensive line north of Lake. That's Lake Baikal, yeah.
That's
there
Lake
not
Baikal.
some mountains up there?
Yep, there are. Yep, there's tons of mountains.
Okay. Yeah. So there's. And then there's mountains to the south, so it's not like it's a front that's going to move fast.
Well, that's the
one
thing.
thing I do appreciate. That's one thing I appreciate about this game. Whenever you want a unit to just be able to skip a couple provinces, it never happens that way. You just sit there, smashing your head against the wall. Please move, please move, please move.
Yep. Yeah, well, it's interesting. I mean, I don't know if I've showed you this before, but like here we can see here, for example.
It's like EU4 on slow motion in a way.
Well,
right?
I mean, and I'm on speed 4 right now, and I'm not automating things, but you can see like here we've got a unit that it's an artillery unit, so it's leg infantry, it's not mounted infantry, or it's not, you know, motorized or anything. You can see its average speed is 1.35 kilometers per hour, which if you think about that in marching time, you know, in rough terrain or with limited infrastructure, I mean, I was looking into something on like the Burma campaign, for example, and like they tried to get like 8 kilometers a day or something, or 8 miles a day, I think it was. You know, so if you think about that, like, it's pretty. The movement speeds
That's
are
slogging through the jungle, or going on a road.
Well, or through a marsh, or through like, you know, here we're in the woods. If you're in urban combat or something like that, there's also. You know, urban combat also kind of affects.
Don't typically do 8 kilometers a day through urban combat if it's truly.
No, that's what I mean. You would do like 300 meters
Village
a day.
combat maybe, but.
No, you would
Village.
do. No, I just mean in urban combat you would do even less. All I was doing was showing you the particular stat for this one. Like this unit is actually attacking across. Oh, this is an armored unit. It's going 7 kilometers per hour, but it's attacking. Like the infrastructure is fairly good. And it's attacking across a river, so it's like that. You know, it really depends where you are. How many units have I got attacking here? This is probably a stacking penalty. Nope, 1%. I already fixed that one. That's the other thing with Hearts of Iron 4 that drives me nuts. It's the
We got Krakow, or are we still fight? Yeah, we got Krakow, right?
Yep.
Or what's
Yeah,
so
that's
what's
done.
that big city to the southwest? What's the big city next to the southwest?
This one here,
down there?
Breslau. That's we are in Germany basically now, or almost. Are we? Yeah, we are at. This is Germany. We've crossed the border from Poland into Germany. Of course, we already had in the north anyway, but we are in Germany, both in the north and the south.
Oh.
Yep. So this is an impossible salient to hold. I keep getting pushed back here every time I take it back because they can attack from all sides, so it's like not a good spot to be. So I'm just gonna sit tight there for now and see what I can do to shore up the lines over here, and then yeah, we'll see where we can push. I would really like to. This guy can move forward. I would really love to surround one of these heavy armored units and get them off the map, because they're basically like, they can't really move very quickly except when they strategically redeploy them, but like I also just can't push through them. It's annoying.
Oh, those are the heavy armor.
Yeah, they're driving me nuts. Like I remember this from last time.
Well, we did successfully, defend off one.
Yeah, well, for sure. They're not
It's basically pushed everywhere but there. Yeah.
Exactly.
But there are units. Oh, it's falling back. The armor's falling back.
This guy here is not moving, falling back. But I just want to trap that one division. I don't even care if everything else gets out.
The little green arrows are the direction of motion, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That heavy armor is
falling back.
It's Guderian's leading that division too, which is of course. Why haven't they promoted him to field marshal? Speaking of, who's at the head? Oh, this guy is the head of. Okay, we can do better than that. Let's. We got to reduce our stacking penalties here. I'm gonna go and grab. Gonna look at our leaders here. Okay, Zhukov is a skill 7 general. Vasilevsky's skill 7. This guy here, who's at the head of a tank division. Where is this tank division? Is it in battle? Yeah, it's in battle. Okay. He would be an excellent... He doesn't have any traits, though. Oh, offensive doctrine. Is it time to make Zhukov the head of the whole theater? Nah, maybe we'll let him get some more experience first. Well, because the theater leader has an effect on the stacking penalty, which is... Stacking penalty is how many divisions you can throw into a particular battle, depending on the frontage.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah, so...
Yeah.
So basically... Where is this unit? Why can I not see it? Second Army. Ooh. I'm looking for... Sorry. Second Army. There we go. Okay. Oh, yeah, Zhukov's not going to get much experience sitting on his hands up there, I guess. But whatever. We'll work on that later. You know what? I do need a better guy, though. I need a better guy for now, and we'll deal with it later. Where's the Third Army? Yeah, let's just stick you as a theater leader, and then put... That guy's handy for now. Just replace.
The Lake Baikal situation. Sorry, I'm terrible at paying attention, not to anything but the chat. Actually, although it's always been ugly, it's a stiffer lime than it first appears, and the terrain's in our...
Yeah, I mean, Japan...
To our advantage.
Honestly, I don't even think Japan... I mean, if you play Japan as a human player...
they have so far to go to be annoying.
They have, yeah, exactly. They just can't... like, it's just basically impossible.
Same problems start to afflict them that are afflicting us, and that's downright transportation. Can't get troops.
Well, and if you look at the infrastructure, I mean, I built up this line here to supply my troops, right? But I mean, it's way worse. I mean, we're supplying troops from all the way over here, right? But imagine supplying it in the reverse direction. It's not, and their supply ultimately has to flow from Japan, so it's going through all sorts of bad terrain in like Manchuria here. Like they have no means whatsoever of supplying a campaign up there. They don't really have... Japan doesn't really have a means of attacking the Soviet Union other than to kind of, you know, take some of this coastal area here.
There's only one break in there that's annoying in terms of the dark green. Why is there a break in the dark green right in the middle, right by the V of Soviet?
Dark
green, right by the V of Soviet in terms of the supply. There's like a perfect green.
What's going on there? Oh, I must have just forgotten to upgrade this one. Yeah, let's see. Let's fix that. That's really annoying. You're right. Oh, I stopped upgrading it because the supply seems to be moving from this northern rail line now, but I should probably fix that, actually. Where does it go?
Well, it does go all the way across, so at least gives an alternate flow, I would think.
Yeah,
anyways.
It doesn't really matter. It's a moot point. I think we're getting enough supplies to the armies in the east.
Well,
it switches back and forth.
It affects it affects my aesthetic, you know.
No, I know.
You have to get the aesthetic right. It's got to be all green.
Yeah, this is around... Yeah, that's a good way of putting it, Lucario. And in fact, if you look at the Japanese right now, like, they have more divisions than us, right? But you can see, like, our divisions are counterattacking. They also have faster divisions, but, like, they're not really getting anywhere here. They're probably... They're not running out of supply, they're just... It's extremely slow going, and they're not able to concentrate forces. They're not able to do any of these encircling movements. Like, when we were fighting over here, we lost a lot of troops, because I tried to defend these areas, and then I kept getting, you know, surrounded on all sides, and I lost, a number of times I lost a few divisions, just trying desperately to defend this sort of salient here, but now that they're, you know, they haven't really come that far. I mean, look, it's You know, look how much
No.
more Soviet Union
No.
there is, right? I mean, it's pretty
No,
wild.
but that was also the line that we wanted to get back and consolidate the line, because the
Exactly.
line has definitely been shortened.
Yep.
The volume of the country too, but who cares? That doesn't matter to us.
Okay, I need to. This guy. I got way too many troops down here, and I need them up here. But we've now shortened the front. When we started, our front was like this long, and we've shortened it by about 10, maybe 8 provinces there. So what have we got down here? What army are you guys part of? 6th Army. I basically want to move the entire 6th Army. Let's move the entire 6th Army up here. Yeah, I like it. Just strategically redeploy there. It's going to use a lot of supplies. It's going to be a bit of a mess for a second. But the flank of this other army here can hold.
Oh, we finally got rid of the Germans down there. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna basically take this entire army and just strategically redeploy it up here, so that we'll be
now,
able
when you
to...
strategically redeploy, does it just get like, it's like the magic bus and goes further, faster, farther, or what
What they do when they strategically redeploy, it's basically, it's kind of imagined as though they're like, you know, they're all piling into trains or whatever, right? Basically they use more supplies, but they travel, I don't know, like how fast is this guy going? Does it even tell you the speed? I don't know if it tells you no, it doesn't tell you the actual speed. But it basically doubles the speed or whatever. And then, yeah, it's not giving me the actual speed. But they carry supplies with them, so they arrive supplied, but they eat up a lot of supply on the way. Like they eat up, like you'll notice a big gap in the supply network will form after we've moved them all. And then when they get there, they have a cooldown period as though they were in combat, basically. Like it takes them a while before they can move from strategic deployment mode into. You can see how quickly they're moving to frontline. Yeah.
And how many strategic moves do you get?
No, it's not that you just point them at a direction and they find the fastest path. But the problem is you can't strategically redeploy into combat. So if there was a battle going on in this province, they wouldn't arrive there. In fact, I should keep that division there just in case. Push there, just to free that up to make sure that they actually get there on time. We could actually take out...
Well, that's a huge volume we've taken down there. It's actually happened. Wow.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
And we are taking the vulnerable decision of leaving that gap on our flank with Romania or whatever. But, you know, basically at this stage, you know, for Romania attacks, I mean...
Romania doesn't even have enough divisions to man their entire border, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. What I can do is... Do I have anything...
I'm just saying, are there more troops to even drag north? And I mean, I'd rather. Oh,
somewhere I've got all these reserve militia ones. Why don't we just place those on the border? That's a really good idea, actually. I could take all these reserve militias, turn them into a kind of militia army, and then. Also, this is a very good general to be putting on an army that is not very important. Okay. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I hadn't even thought of that. All of these militia units I had built, and you know, anticipating that they would actually invade us, and we invaded them. So.
Oh fuck! Oh, you got all that shit. Yeah.
But they're not infantry. They're good enough to defend the border. Yeah.
They're good enough to defend the border, and you can upgrade those in place or whatever. Yep. Seems like you've got the capability to do that, but it means you can take a real army and shift it north and change the balance of the equation, because. Yeah. It's starting to stagnate, and by the time you shift their ass up to the north, probably it is springtime, time for an offensive that gives somebody a walloping somewhere. Hopefully you'll have the choice of where. Probably the center, where we're hoping to break through, but really just holding our own.
I agree. Okay, let's put this into... Oops. Who doesn't have a core? 2, 3, 4. Let's put this into an army.
So we have the choice, sort of like the Germans do with Paris, but in the reverse direction. Do we pass to the north or south of Berlin, or smack right into it, you know?
All right, let's just shuffle this all up here so it's at least a little closer. Oh yeah, we've actually left a gap in the line here. Okay, well that's fine. We'll close it up here. So let's take these 2 divisions. Actually, this army here, we'll just move it all intact. Yeah, we'll just strategically redeploy this army up here. and we'll mop up whatever comes in at us from the south. And then these guys I will use on the Romanian border. So there.
I mean, there's no diplomatic game in this game, right? I mean, there's no way that you could sort of just like
you can,
in
certain
blow
sense.
sweet nothings in Romania's ears so that they are less likely to.
Honestly, like at this point, it's
Right.
basically impossible that they stab us in the back. So I mean, it's kind of not even worth worrying about. But
yeah, then absolutely, this is perfect. This militia, strip it, and we should just be very aggressive about that because this is a huge amount of troops to.
It's 3 cores.
To get in the
substantial.
game up north. This will make a difference.
Yep, for sure.
Although I don't think there's armor, is there?
No. It's just 2 infantry, 2 or 3 infantry corps.
Okay.
So I'm just going to spread this around the border here. And I'm going to want to take a break in a second, but let's just see where we're at here. God, I've got all this shit too. Oh, these are garrisons. These are port garrisons, okay. I remember I did this crazy militia build, and it was just kind of insane, but whatever. Not a big deal.
But that was the experiment for this game, because I don't know how you tripped across it, but it was almost like an experiment, right?
Yeah, pretty much. You can get there's a way to kind of build a ton of militia and use it defensively.
But it never came into play, and I think it's more annoying, and maybe in Russia's situation, to upgrade those until later than you wish.
It had to do with how much leadership we had and our officer ratio. That was the. We basically didn't have enough commissioned officers for our army because we built too big an army, and then what I did is I actually took it out of the. These ones that I'm upgrading right now are not actually part of the army because they're being upgraded. So I don't even know where these are. Whatever.
I think I get hopelessly confused with trying to figure out what's what in this game from an organization. You have to
watch my tutorial. I have a 9-part tutorial of this game. Okay, you can stop doing that because you're gonna die. Well, I'm getting lots of air experience.
No. That's the one thing I like about solo Civ 5 is there's, it's a turn-by-turn thing.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically it. As I play it, it's basically turn by turn. It's interesting. Okay, they're trying to pull out their armor. Well, I thought I was going to be able to encircle
it's not quite an EU. Well, it's certainly not an EU4 pace, it's different.
Yeah, you can.
There's so much detail.
Okay, I've left a pretty substantial gap in the front here by mistake, so I really do need this army to get there. But that's okay. We'll mop it up in
What's the armor unit there by fucking Lord?
There we go. Just push them back there. Perfect. In fact, letting them in here is probably I'll just encircle them again. I'll just let them in there and then just mop them up again. Works for me.
You moved out of the way of something.
I left 2 provinces by mistake, so they're just walking into our territory, of course. They've pulled out the heavy armor again, so I don't think I'm going to be able to encircle it. They stacked how many divisions here? 1, 2. They've got like a bunch of divisions here. Jesus, what if I attack this stack? They get a massive stacking penalty. Naval battles.
Joe, do you think they're really fighting back? Well,
stacking
we've got all
penalty
those other...
minus 24. Stacking penalty. I don't think I can win this actually. They're getting a minus 24 stacking penalty. Attack, defend modifier. Yeah, not worth pushing. Okay, I am going to take a quick break, and I'll be back in about 10 minutes or so. No, 5 minutes. Not even a few minutes. A handful of minutes. So I'll put up the break image. Somebody remind me to take it down. Probably you. Wait a second here. Okay, I'll be back shortly. Oh, yeah. Wait, do I not have... Oh, shit. I don't have... There we go. There it is. It's been so long since I did this. I can't remember how it works. Okay.
Rock and roll. back on the Discord.
And I'm back. Oh, I left it on the combat sound. That's hilarious. Wait, let me alt tab out of this. There we go.
See, I'm not, of course, hearing the sound from the YouTube.
Right, because it doesn't. You would have to get it from your Discord, I think. But it's probably better that you don't. There's not much. It's just music and you know, it's not a very sound effect intense game. They put all sorts of stupid voice acting in Hard to Run 4. It's annoying. I kind of like when I play this game, I kind of like to not have anything more than a bit of ambient sound. Otherwise, it just gets.
Well, let's put it this way: shall we say the Civ 6 certainly did a much better job, and even that is just ridiculous, cartoonish most of the time. I'd say Civ 5 again, in terms of the interactions between the.
Have I seen
the cartoon
any of the
characters?
Sorry,
go ahead.
OBP Super Gamers asking, have I seen any of The Expanse? There's a new season of that. That show is awesome. Yeah, I watched it now. It's on Netflix or something now, isn't it? Or like on Amazon Prime or something. Yeah, no, I didn't know there was a new season of that. That had, as I understand it, that had been like canceled and then picked up by one of the streaming services. So that's good to know. I will want to watch that.
What is that about?
It's great actually. It's a hard sci-fi show. It's
cool.
Yeah, it came out like I don't know, 6-7 years ago, and then it whatever network it was on originally was going to cancel it, and then one of the streaming services picked it up, I think. Or I might be confusing it, but yeah, no. So I'm glad to hear Amazon Prime. You know, I think I just canceled my Amazon Prime membership. I guess I'll have to take another month of it and watch The Expanse. That's what I do now, though. There's so many streaming services. Like, if I don't pay attention, I'm paying for like 3 of them at once, and I'm not using them. Like when I was working. I'm
paying for Netflix and I'm not using it.
Yeah, but see, Netflix I always keep.
And I use TSN for Formula One, and I'm really not interested. In watching.
Wait, are you
too much?
Do you stream the TSN? Like, do you have it on your cable box TSN, or do you? Which is for
no, it's direct over the internet.
They do that now. Okay, that's good. I'm glad because I know that there was like the last I was watching Formula One a few years back, and at that
this is not direct to Formula One. You're getting it through TSN.
Yeah, well, and TSN, but Formula One.
But you don't have to have a satellite. You don't have to have a cable hookup. But see, whatever. You can just do it over the internet.
So only I'd say 4 years ago, like Formula One was not giving streaming rights out like in that way. They basically, depending on the country, I imagine, but they basically it was surprisingly annoying to, I think I was just streaming it like not legally or something, because otherwise I would have had to pay for a fucking $80 cable subscription just to see that. But if they allow you to stream it like piecemeal and pay a modest price just for that.
No, it's not that. You're subscribing to TSN, so you're getting Raptors, you're getting golf, you're getting football, you're getting Formula One.
For our non-Canadian viewers, TSN is basically Canada's ESPN.
Yeah. No. So, anyways.
Okay, we've got lots of possibilities here.
Yes, I got rid of all kinds of expensive boxes and subscriptions, and between Patreon and YouTube and who knows what else. I say I'm easily back to spending that same amount of money on different media now.
Yeah, I think that's just sort of how it works now.
And I basically don't have time in my life for Netflix because I actually read books.
Yeah, I don't know. I found like when I was working at the bar until yesterday when we got locked down again, which is why I have not been streaming. For those of you who aren't aware, I think people in the Discord. Wow. Okay, we got a major push coming in here. They pulled out their troops and now they're trying to counterattack. Okay, well let's just retreat this. Why won't you retreat? Yeah. Okay, that was rough. Okay, well we'll just move that infantry in and that should plug that hole. These guys can move forward here. At this point, there's like, I don't see much, until the front stabilizes a little bit, I don't see much of a possibility for like a major push, but it is, okay, stop that
What
attack.
month is it?
It is March, the 12th of March, so we're still very much in the winter. I do want to counterattack here with, ooh, I can't, because these divisions are all, ooh. This is, it's not like super risky or anything, but it's definitely... They've managed.
All of a sudden, have they grabbed some lead? What's happening with Britain? Is some pressure in the east gone away?
In the west
gone away, or
oh fuck?
Are they?
The Italian looks like basically what's happened, as I understand it, is Vichy France was neutral, and I didn't see the pop up, but it looks to me as though.
We're fighting Vichy France unit?
Well, so Vichy France is the neutral puppet state, right? And then it looks to me...
Yeah.
So what would have happened here is, like, the Allies are programmed to declare war on Vichy France, which is like Operation Torch, right? That's where the Americans and British invaded. Yeah, so they did that, but they botched it, and now in
this game, they botched it.
In this game, they botched it, and so now you've got Vichy France moving down towards the Suez Canal from there, and then you've got, this has been a stable front for a while, but they still got Malta, so there's still hope. Our submarines are actually tearing the shit out of the Italian supply lines. Soviet
it's actually
submarines.
Almost in a way...
Sorry.
Funny that we... did reverse things and go after Germany so early because, man, talk about a different world.
Yep. Well, the Mediterranean is very much still contested. But it's only 1941, so it's not surprising. I mean, the Allies have not really had time to do any kind of massive build-up, right? So that's the way this game is set up.
I don't know. I'm having a hard time... taking this in, but anyway.
Well, it's just because
in terms of true troop motivation, right? But we're good. We're good. Let's go with
Jesus. Why have I got? Okay, I've got 20. So what I need to do here actually is I need to take some of these units.
The world's upside down.
Well, the thing is the Allies in this game and in Hearts of Iron 4 as well start with a bunch of modifiers that make it really hard for them to gear up for war. Basically, the population does not want to go to war, which was sort of the case historically. I mean, why did the French do so little in World War II in a certain sense? Well, because they did not want to fight a war. They were willing to go to great lengths to not fight another war, and
yeah, I know, which is understandable. You live in a country, and a good part of it is like geographically fucked up. It's a result of the conflict, and it happened on so many friggin' occasions. I mean, think back all the way back to say even the 100 Years' War, and that was only a portion of that French territory, but the number of times and places across the landscape of France that there's been some serious kick-ass conflict with even Caesar with his surround the fort with a fort.
Well, it's the whole north of. I mean, most of France is a big open plain, right? So it's very hotly contested land. I think it was what's that? Norman Davies, one of my favorite historians of European history, talks about how this whole plain here, from the Urals, basically, from the Urals all the way to the French Atlantic coast. I mean, there's very, very few geographic barriers there. So
well, it's just called rivers, which
yeah,
really ceased to be of that much importance about the time of Julius Caesar, or maybe
I think they're always
back
important,
of that,
but...
right? Well, no, in terms of Syria's armies being able to cross them, build bridges, supply themselves, otherwise,
Yeah.
shall we say, the Romans were successful in physically dominating in quite remote territories in ways that I think, other than the horse people, that in certain geographies has never been achieved before. You know what I mean? Like literally take possession of the ground.
Okay, so I need to move about 12 of these divisions up here. Okay, it's interesting, I thought we were having a little breakthrough here, but in reality, when we started this stream, we were sitting on this river and moving towards this river, and now we've pushed them, we have pushed them back quite far. Just need to reallocate some troops. I've got a huge amount of troops down in this area.
Well, let's not forget, we're well past Krakow, right? We're a full city past Krakow.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
The front is moving.
Let's see.
Yeah, look how few gray there is to the south of that too. So
it's this stack here that really got in my way. I was not planning on seeing that concentration of...
I was hoping you'd stop zooming in and out quite so much, but it's pointless.
Well, it's kind of hard to play the game without zooming in and out. Sort of allows you to keep yourself oriented. These 5 divisions are going to have to stay here, and they're going to move there. This is when the order of battle is going to get really screwed up again, because I'm moving so many troops. Every time you move troops across the map like that, you basically just have to make whole new armies. Let's attack these guys from another direction, and we'll attack
And this
here.
is just simply because you don't want to be too far away from the HQ to get some sort of...
To get bonuses.
Oh my fucking god. You'd think to some degree they would allow you to basically sweep your mouse around in a circle, group units, and say, you army.
Well, that's what they do. That's what they do in Hearts of Iron 4. There are no HQ units on the map in Hearts of Iron 4, and there are no cores whatsoever. You just have armies and army groups, and that's it. And you can give orders to armies and orders to army groups, and then you can give orders to individual divisions, but it's not really designed for that. Which ultimately I think for most players is probably preferable. I do like this game, and how granular this is. You just don't get... Okay, that's a bad... it's not that bad. We are gonna have to take... We're gonna get a...
Because the dialogue boxes or whatever, when you select things, the boxes are so small, right? Like they're invisible to a guy with old eyes like me. Like, forget it, not reading it.
Let's put Rokossovsky as in charge of the whole theater. I like it. And then we'll put this guy in charge of this core for now. There we go. Now we'll reduce that stacking penalty. Should be anyway, by a tiny bit. They're trying... I keep sinking German transports up here. I don't know what they're trying to do. Are they trying to, like, do some stupid naval invasion in the Baltic? Because that would be ridiculous. Okay, wait, we got a problem here. Okay, let's grab this, and push. It's these goddamn heavy armor units again.
So, what is the true counter to those things? Like, can we get some sort of, I don't know, inspired by God rocket artillery to obliterate them or something?
Not really. We could have. We didn't really build a lot of anti-tank brigades, and that's partly just because of how this game works. This game has a few stats here. I'll show you.
Was that another game? Was it not this game that we were doing the technology for rocket artillery?
Yeah, we do have it.
Okay.
But the rocket artillery doesn't help. So basically, like the way it works.
Yeah, I didn't think it'd be good.
Like this is kind of a standard infantry division in this game, and you've got basically, where is it? Where's hard attack and soft attack? Yeah. No, toughness. Wait a second. Hard attack and soft attack. So basically, this is like a infantry and artillery one. And then if we put anti-tank instead, we get more hard attack. The problem is that most targets in the game are soft. So if your standard infantry division has a lot of anti-tank stuff, Like, it doesn't really make sense. And that's one thing that Hearts of Iron 4 does better as well, because you can do something like put a support brigade of anti-tank units.
I was going to say, because like didn't the Americans have like a tank killer kind of brigade or something?
Yeah.
And I don't think every fucking army had one. I think it was more of a
they were
instances.
what they would have is,
I could be wrong.
What they would have is a they might have a whole brigade of like artillery attached to a division, but they would only have like a what's it called, a battalion or something of anti-tank guns, and the exact number of guns or the exact size of the brigade would depend on the circumstances. Okay, so we've solved this problem again here. This is they keep pushing here, and then we keep pushing them back. This is the largest concentration of troops here. It's a shame I wasn't able to encircle any of this, but there isn't really any space until we get to the river.
Well, yes, but I mean, when I was looking at it before, that's why I was kind of puzzled sometimes when you were saying encircle, because...
Oh, they brought Bismarck and Tirpitz up to fight my navy, so this is...
They're gonna chase a few little World War I destroyers or something around, or... We have submarines, so we have actually a crack at it. They might,
yeah, submarines are not very... Because of the way this game... Actually, naval combat's come a long way in Hearts of Iron 4. I like it in certain ways. In Hearts of Iron, like, this game just has, like, sub-attack, sub-defense, stuff like that. Hearts of Iron 4 actually has a mechanic where there's, like, 3 battle lines in a naval battle, and torpedoes can kind of thread their way through it. So it's pretty interesting that way. But yeah, in this game, what I was getting to is in this game, you're not going to sink the Bismarck with a submarine, unfortunately. Very, very unlikely. Submarines are essentially just for convoy hunting, which isn't really quite realistic. Although, that being said, I had a conversation with someone about this on one of the forums at one point. Most of the time, most capital ships that were sunk by submarines were pretty early in the war. Wasn't something that happened a lot lately, and it was mostly due to inadequate screening.
No, because, well, but the big thing going on, because if you think about it, in a non-radar world, which again is relatively early in the war, at least for 2 or 3 years, though.
Yeah.
Oh,
we're getting pushed here.
Those friggin' battleships, when they were on and about, they're going at a pretty high rate of knots, and those subs on the surface could go pretty quickly. That's not how they're chasing down fucking battleships. It's, by fluke, they're in the right place at the right time, which is, for all intents and purposes, never. I mean, the encounters were in fucking harbors, right?
That's right. I mean, they sunk an old British battleship in harbor at Scapa Flow early in the war. And again, they really weren't, like, they hadn't had time to kind of adapt to the new types of submarines they were using and stuff like that. But I mean, by the time,
right, and from the sound of things too, if you read the detailed story of the attack, it was a pretty gutsy, skilled attack that they conducted. It wasn't just a...
No, exactly.
But...
Okay, so are we... let's see. I think in this stream we're gonna probably just try and get to Berlin here. That's gonna be the plan. But the question is, the front's gonna start stabilizing very soon because we are moving up to this river here, and they basically don't have anywhere they can attack us. They're breaking through across again here, though. That's annoying. Take these 2 tank divisions and move them there. I've got infantry coming down here to reinforce. Once again with the goddamn heavy armor.
Are you going to get that little salient in the north, or is that a problem?
This salient in the north, this salient there is a problem because it can be attacked by like 5 sides. So I've been repeatedly pushing these guys back.
I'm talking the very north, I don't know. I think the YouTube's so out of sync of what we're...
It might be, yeah. If you're watching the YouTube, you're probably getting a bit behind at this point. In the Discord stream, you'll be able to see. Okay, they pushed across the river here as well. That's not a big deal. We'll attack here and... Oh, those units don't have much organization, but we'll just support the attack from the sides, and it should be fine. Nice. Why build radar when the Germans can build it for you? Okay.
It's that salient right there. Everything good there?
Yeah, I've got a lot of troops in this area right now. I'm just, I've got a huge glut of troops here that are needed farther north, and I'm just polishing up some shit down here. Okay, there we go. There's the infantry I needed. How many hours? 71 hours. Okay. And what's this? Oh god, a ton of infantry. Okay, I need more infantry up here. We're gonna have to reorganize the order of battle again for sure. Alright, we won there.
Awful lot of troops appearing in the south now. But they're light blue, they're not gray, which means what?
They're Slovakians, and looks like Slovakians, Hungarians, and all that. These are very easy troops to break through. Not really worth worrying about.
Okay.
They did push back one of our divisions because I left that hole. But I could probably... What's going on here?
Okay. Okay.
The question is, like, the only problem we have down here is there's sort of nowhere to go. If we push this way, we can push all the way to Italy.
Okay, so why don't we zoom out and take a big look? We haven't got big arrows on this map. It's coming up to what? Spring.
Mm-hmm.
But let's look ahead 2 months. Let's just take a pause for a second. Get the colors right. Draw some maybe new arrows or something as to just what the hell we're going to do.
For sure, yeah.
Because...
Let's open the battle plan again, so you can see we've actually done pretty much all of our objectives in this winter. Let me just delete this arrow here. But like this was our original plan, and we've covered.
I'm not seeing any arrows.
These.
Sorry.
Oh, you're behind on the stream again.
Okay. Wow, is that ever a lag?
Yeah, well, you should watch on the Discord, not on the. Not on the.
Okay,
YouTube.
to hell with the chat then.
Well, I mean, I can report the chat to both of us. Okay. But yeah, so where did it go? Battle plan. Yeah,
okay,
so you can see that we've basically covered most of the ground.
Wow. You're right.
Yeah, we've covered most of the ground that we originally wanted to do. This is the pocket that we haven't gotten to. This river line here that I'm in the process of kind of pushing and being pushed a bit here. But the front is definitely stabilizing. So let's.
Okay, so what's happening to the south then? Would be my question.
What's happening to the south? Well, we had talked about some kind of line here, which does make sense actually.
I'm just seeing more German troops there or opponents there than. Okay, whatever.
British-Russian protected twin. Hi, welcome to the stream.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah.
Serious handle.
So there's
okay. So what's happening? Can we break out south of Berlin? Can we have a territory look? Like, because that's got to be the driver, right? If we can find a place where you know, from a terrain point of view, it's an easy corridor to go.
Yeah, I mean, certainly Berlin is. It's possible to push towards Berlin. What I'm thinking though is that it's actually. I mean, if we're able to ignore the Romanian border, which let's take a look at the politics here. They are drifting towards the Axis actually reasonably quickly. They could join the Axis. Wouldn't surprise me because we're probably their biggest threat. Let's see here, Romania, Europe. Romania, highest threat? Yeah. Ooh.
What?
They are actually drifting slowly towards the Axis. The question is, do I want to influence them?
Well, we're kind of vulnerable down there, right? We've made ourselves pretty soft. We've put everything into the.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too worried. The question.
I just think that don't forget, at least as far as that sort of arc of hills goes, we've really shortened and narrowed the front as to where we go. It's either north, south, or directly at Berlin.
Yeah. Protected Twin, you're asking, I am new, why no Hearts of Iron 4? I've actually been playing lots of Hearts of Iron 4 lately. For the longest time, I really did prefer this game. I thought that without Man the Guns and actually without No Step Back, some of the things they've introduced in No Step Back, I think Hearts of Iron 4 is becoming an increasingly interesting game. I still play both. I like both. This game has a more interesting, detailed kind of battle thing going on.
He likes to deal with the.
I like the complexity of like issuing orders to individual divisions and not dealing with the battle planner in Hearts of Iron. Like I don't care about planning speed and shit like that. What I like in the new DLCs of Hearts of Iron 4 though, I like Man the Guns because it makes the naval game like a real thing, and I like some of the stuff they put in No Step Back because now it's starting to have a real supply system. Whereas, like, the supply system in this game is, like, still probably more complex than in Hearts of Iron 4. So yeah, there's a lot of things I like about that game, and I have been playing it a lot, and I probably will do a Hearts of Iron 4 live stream at some point. But this is also a campaign that I started several months ago.
I'm trying to think if you even shown it to me.
No, exactly. I've been thinking we should do that at some point because there's a new DLC that's just come out a week ago that I have now, and it's definitely makes the game a lot more interesting.
Why? What does it do?
Well, the Hearts of Iron 4 didn't really have a supply system before.
Okay. So this has only been out for a week.
Well, I don't know. It's a week or two, a few weeks maybe.
A recent. Whatever.
Yeah, recent, yeah. So yeah, that is why I am currently playing Hearts of Iron 3.
Every single time I go to get in my racing game, it seems, when it's close to race time, it's a good thing I do that early in the morning because there always seems to be an update out, and you have to do the update.
Well, yeah, if you're playing online, yeah. So also this is a campaign that we started several months ago. I've been just too busy to stream anything lately with work, but now we're in lockdown again, so I have lots of time to stream. So yeah, that's where that's at. So
when we have no choice, we play.
Exactly. Okay, let's stop this attack. Attack's gonna fail. Interesting. Yeah, they keep pushing in various places, but it's not gonna get them anywhere. Anyway, that's a long-winded explanation as to why I'm not playing Hearts of Iron 4. Actually, I've been playing. I was playing Hearts of Iron 4 this morning a bit, and I will. One of our next streams should definitely be that.
That and one imaginative EU4 choice.
Yep. Yeah, that could be fun, for sure.
I mean, we did have a really good, was it Savoy we were playing?
Savoy was fun, but that was the trouble. I mean, it's
that was so close. Close.
It all came down. The Savoy run all came down to one battle. Like it was one battle that we got. It came down to one dice roll.
Flip. One dice roll. And, no, which is fine. Hey, you can't always win them, but no, definitely. I think there's a few choices like that we should look at. I mean, I'm almost at this point so frustrated along the lines of I'd like to see a different pair of eyes go after it, right? But in any case.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, certain countries actually can be surprisingly powerful or annoying if you're on the superpower side of things and starting to, shall we say, reach remotely.
Well, you haven't played very many of the European majors in EU4.
I know, but I feel a little bit more historically constrained. I always like to sort of strike out geographically and intellectually in my own direction. Or at least
sure. Yeah, no, I get
tiny
that.
Bit of choice. So, I mean, to me, it would be nice. I think it's quite doable, but again, a little bit of head scratching to start off as.
We're actually across the river here, which is interesting. What is this?
Bresla? Say Ayutthaya, and really seriously get to Burma and take it out and do it,
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
not super thrilled with how they. I don't like the mission tree that they did for those Leviathan mission trees are just everything that's the worst about mission trees. I don't know, it was weird. Like,
What do you mean? Like just
well,
every single one of them?
No, it's just that the ones they made in Southeast Asia, they just make those countries like super powerful. It's like the vassal swarm thing that they have you do there. It's just kind of like, I don't know.
I didn't find the Vassal Swarm to be that successful, but of course you don't have the.
Well, when we were,
Didn't seem to have the others. Didn't seem to have the other scale to go the other route. I don't know. Yeah, no. I mean, I haven't been playing it a lot, so I don't always like get the balance probably optimum. I'll use that word. But in any case, it's sort of like third or fourth in the list of playing.
yeah,
Unfortunately.
yeah.
But
anyway,
it's good to have that many. It's good to have that many games, actually.
Yeah, actually, though, if you're interested, okay, our guards have come out, which means that, wait a second. So, are these upgrades done? Oh shit, they are. Okay, only the motorized ones aren't done yet, and they're going to be done in April. So everything except the motorized.
Okay, so this is April.
No, we're still March 26th.
Help me here. Okay, help me here. Is there going to be a huge increment from March to April? Like, tell me when maybe it won't be a total mess.
Yeah, maybe. So our guards divisions are starting to come out. Oh wait, we're low on leadership. We're low on officers again. Shit. Okay.
How the fuck does that happen?
Because we're building more units.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Which we don't really need. I don't think we need to grow our armory any bigger at this point. I'm going to build this guards. Oh.
No, but then how do you recycle your troops so you can upgrade them? Surely you can do something like that, right?
Oh yeah, they receive upgrades. They receive upgrades,
okay,
like kind of passively
okay.
or whatever, right?
Oh.
Okay, this is the guards corps.
I'm surprised you don't have to cycle them out like you do to recharge them when they're in battle.
I mean, you sort of do. It's just that aspect of the game is kind of below the divisional level is kind of abstracted. So like this unit is low on organization. You can see its current strength is at 95.4. Like, and there's other units where I don't know if we have any. We don't really have any low strength units because we have so much manpower and we're just pumping. Like, we are constantly replenishing troops at the front. We're just replenishing our divisions.
We can always keep up with our trip. We just have a big enough manpower pool.
Well, and no, it's not only that.
Speaking of which, it's been a month. So what's the German stack compared to the Russian stack?
Well, so first of all, the Germans have 12. It hasn't budged much. It hasn't moved much. In terms of manpower.
1.2, yeah.
But the thing is, you got to remember that
1.2, 1.7.
we got to look at what they're building, though, right? Like, they're not actually deploying any new divisions. They're building yet another heavy armor division. So they're wasting their IC building heavy armor division and then 2 infantry divisions here. And they're just, the thing is, we've encircled in the last like 3 months. We've encircled something like 10 divisions. They're building 2, 3 right now, and we've encircled 10 in the last couple months. And it takes them a month or 2.
Okay,
to
so let
deploy
me
a division.
ask a different question, though. Granted. So they're not replacing what they're losing, and they're making expensive choices. Unfortunately, they're choices that we also have a hell of a time even breaking into. So what's going to happen across the front if they have like 3 more of those units? Are we going to?
They're just going to create snags.
Well, how wide is that front such that 3 more units? Is that going to get all of the flat terrain alleys between XYZ where we want to go?
Nowhere near.
Okay, fine.
Let's try and get across this river now that I have some infantry.
I still would like to hear what the solution is to heavy armor.
The solution to heavy armor would have been to build super powerful anti-tank brigades, but the problem is that those anti-tank brigades would only be useful in that circumstance. And that circumstance is rare enough that it's not like I'm going to strategically redeploy the one special unit I have to deal with the heavy armor. What's going on here? Why am I having... It's river crossing.
Okay, so you can just put like in a couple extra artillery units or something and beat your head against it and eventually
not really.
get through it?
You can just throw men at them, basically.
Okay.
There's no real easy solution. There's one down there as well. And I like to try and encircle them, but we haven't been able to get any momentum behind them.
But that's what I was asking about, if that's all they're building, are they gradually going to put like this picket fence across their front line with a few holes
I
in
can
it?
try, but I doubt very much they'll be able to succeed at that.
Oh, okay. It's just because that's what I thought. We're always going around it. Well, if you have to go around it, but through something really sticky, that's probably a bit annoying.
All right, let's take these guys and attack there. I'm gonna try and seal up this whole front here and get to this river, and maybe encircle something on the way. Moved a lot of infantry around. We will have to do a little bit of reorganization, but it shouldn't be too bad. But if I were moving units a corps at a time, then it wouldn't be as big an issue. What's going on here? Why am I... Oh, they've got 2 heavy armor divisions in the neighborhood here. Interesting. Yeah, that's not gonna fly. Okay, I need to get some armor in there. Actually, we stop and... Damn. Oh, I see what's going on.
Okay, so again, I just throw out for like a mental image to sort of intellectually, strain your brain against. But now, picture, 4 provinces in a row, all heavy armor.
Yeah, I know, but the thing is,
That's all I'm saying. So, how are those things going to come at you?
Well, we could research, if we researched anti-tank brigades and built bigger divisions and spent 3 years building and researching better anti-tank stuff, yes, we could counter those units. But it's like that's gonna happen.
It's that far away.
Because I have not been pursuing that research because it's not useful in 90% of situations. It's not, that's.
What else is on that path? Out of curiosity.
I mean, it's just these techs here. It's like anti-tank. These 2 here, and they're just not very useful. I just don't put anti-tank brigades in my divisions in this game. It just does not.
Maybe it's my prejudice, but I thought the Germans did pretty good because they had decent anti-tank.
Yeah, well, in this game, anti-tank is not worth.
In fact, probably the best. No, they did have the best in the world anti-tank. It's incredible.
Sure, but this game does not allow you to deploy individual like battalions of anti-tank. It's at the brigade level, so it's just not. It's not worth.
Whatever.
It.
No, peace.
Yeah, peace. Look at if you look at the divisions along here. Sure, there's some motorized divisions. There's some armored. There's light armored. But most of these divisions are soft.
I'm beating my head against the wall because what I'm trying to fucking say is there doesn't seem. All they do is start to stick up the whole goddamn front because we can't seem to go through them and increasingly not go around them. And
as soon as we punch a hole in this front, we need to concentrate our armor and punch a hole in this front and.
Okay, so let me ask a different question. So if we successfully punch through a hole and then say, steal off behind a heavy armored unit 2 or 3, how hard is it going to be to hold the little fuckers in the pocket?
Easy at that point because they eat a ton of fuel and they run out real quick.
Okay.
Right now I'm trying to get across this river.
So there is a way to kill them. Okay, let's go hunt.
You starve them.
Armor.
Yeah, you starve them. And I tried to. I think I did surround one up north in the last video.
Yeah, there was some mention of it, but I'm just saying maybe that gives us a focus for the next little while. Keep looking for that opportunity.
I just keep kicking them across the river, and then they break across, and then I have to go and kick them over again.
Heavy armor is giving us a hard time across the river. What the fuck? Is it amphibious heavy armor?
No, it's every time
really?
It finds a...
Seriously? That's not weird. Okay.
Tori Delphi, welcome to the stream. Volume FYI. Are you suggesting that the sound is inadequate? Not loud enough? Too loud? Give me some more detail.
Not loud enough? Yes. Talk to us.
Give me some more detail on that. I can fix audio problems if that's what you're saying. What's this division looking like? Okay, let's go move across the river here. So I've actually pinned down. There we go. I've pinned one down there. So let's see. But I don't know if I'm gonna get behind it. I'm one province
I don't
away.
have the option, by the way, of watching your stream directly on Discord. It's not there when I look at the call.
Oh, weird. That's bizarre. I can fix that too, but okay. I've got armor coming in here. Can
I don't recall doing that before. I think it's always been.
Okay, let's stop that there, and then
something for another time.
I don't know. Okay. I think if I can just seal this up here. What's going on here? All right. This is overstacked. No.
I don't know. Maybe I'm being loud.
No, I mean, look, you know, if people want to complain about sound, they've got to be more specific. Oh, we're wasting industrial capacity here. I want to build anything but more units because I keep running out of officers. So, what could we build that isn't units?
Okay, so just hold on. Does that mean more planes, more
Yeah.
trucks, more armor? Like, can we upgrade more units to more armor? Like, how can we make them more badass?
Yeah, I mean, we could.
Do we put it into planes? You saying we're kicking German ass in the air?
Yeah,
like, is there more we can do?
just have
And
so
how are we
many
doing
planes.
that? How? Oh, we just have large numbers.
Yeah. Oh, that guy's not. We're not doing that
How
well,
is that?
actually. We could build a reserve of fighters for sure. Let me just see here.
I'm not trying to just frivolously throw shit away. I'm actually asking, you know, is there anything that we have that's
We
really
actually probably
effective?
could use a bigger air force. Let's build a bigger air force. Otherwise, we're just gonna build like I don't know. The anti-tank is not gonna help because our anti-tank guns are not good enough. Let's just. How many planes can I build?
They really aren't. They really aren't good enough. Like, and
No.
Are there regular? Will they help us against their regular units?
No, and that's why I don't
Okay.
use them. We could, if anything, what we could do is equip our units with some engineers so they can cross rivers faster. I'm a much
Yes.
bigger fan of that.
Anything that'll make the units more effective. I
But we
think is
also,
where you
there's a
gotta
tech
go.
we need to research. We could go for superior firepower, which allows us to add another brigade into the divisions. So that's going to take a while to get. And we're not researching anything right now because
Because.
we got to get more officers. So I'm just going to finish
Oh
that.
fuck!
Yep.
It's always this fucking officer shit, man. That's just. Oh.
Yeah, that's what happens when you play as a country that has low leadership but a huge army.
Yeah, I know. We weren't making the army any bigger. That's for sure. It's
Okay,
not.
I am almost behind this fucking... What's going on here? Jesus Christ. Support attack. It's a fort, that's why. Okay, that's going much better. Let's start an attack here. I've trapped a heavy armor... I've trapped a heavy armor division. I just need to get enough infantry in fast enough to close the gap. We've got a mountain... Like, we've got so many troops. I think those guards were supposed to go to the east. Where did I put the guards? I think I was supposed to deploy them in the east. I think that was like more...
Who are the blue units again?
The blue ones? Yugoslavia. The
Okay.
German army is not very big anymore. It's all concentrated in one area, but it's not that big. So much of the frontier is just basically unsupervised. Oh.
I'd say from a visual point of view, obviously it's not to the player of the game and who knows what the hell they're doing, but when I look at the visual representation of the stack, blah blah blah, never means much to me in terms of what's strong, what's not.
No, it doesn't show you what's strong. You need to know what your techs are, and if you don't have any intelligence on the enemy, you don't know what they're bringing. So...
No, but I'm just saying you just anyways, even if you do have intelligence on the visual representation is what I'm trying to drive at. Whereas
Yeah,
if I look
it's
at
very stripped
another
down.
game, if I look at EU4, if I look at
Yeah,
you
this
know,
is
the
this
Civ,
game is this
when
game.
you see units, you can know whether they're big or bad or whatever.
Yeah, keep in mind this game came out 10 years before U4, something like that. Like it's quite an old game
Okay.
at this point. It's not
And what Civ would have been out that was current with it at the time? I'm curious.
Civ 4, Civ 5, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, and at that time, you know, these Paradox games were again a lot more of a niche. And there's things about
Yeah.
that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
There's things about this aesthetic that I like. I like how it doesn't have a bunch of cartoons. I like how it's very... Why are we having so much trouble against this? Oh, that's a German division. Okay, so we've now blocked 1, 2, 3, 4 divisions, including a heavy armor division. And we need to keep pushing them so that they don't
Escape.
All right,
Yes,
so first up, are you being attacked?
Nice.
I need to reinforce this armored division here is going to get...
The question is this the true amoeba thing, and how did that develop in the first place? And we'll probably
Well,
never know.
I pushed from the north and from the south. I've been trying to encircle this heavy armor division for a while now. I keep pushing it back, and I finally...
What's not clear is the geometry of how the pushes work, because they seem to
Well, no,
go through
you're not
seem
just-
to go through a portion of a province.
No,
Anyways,
you're just not.
it's just.
Oh, this unit here is in the process of retreating from that province. If I get to that tile before it gets to it, then I overrun it and it doesn't get to retreat, basically. So there's a few things in the... Okay, I need this battle to end so that I can...
No. It's unfortunate in a way. It does harken back in the world of pre-playing 4X games on computer.
Yeah.
You played with little square stacks of cardboard that looked exactly like the counters on this.
Yep. That's
right. And you did them on a hex, board that you unfolded, and a couple of them would be decent size. Like there was Germany versus Russia, and I remember being Germany and just absolutely smashing into Russia, encirclement, and at the end of the day...
Which game was that? Was that Blitzkrieg, or was it...
No, Blitzkrieg was completely obviously harkened to World War II, because you had armor, you had paratroops, you had...
Fuckers are going to escape again.
You had a variety, actually a surprising variety of units.
Okay.
And basically you had... I'm going to say it was a slightly unbalanced map, maybe. And it was all about speed of movement, especially early. And of course, it's always human against human. And there's only two of you. So yeah, it was, and there's no mystery as to where units are. There's no fog of war. That's the biggest thing I think that computer games have introduced, is the notion of a fog of war.
Well, and it's also interesting. It is also interesting to play against an AI. It allows to have, what's cool. I mean, what's great about EU4, for example, is like, how would you like to play a game against 150 AIs? Like you know what I mean? Like where there's like 158 countries on the map or whatever, and like you're playing against all of them at once. Like it's pretty wild if you think about it from a board game point of view. Like there's no way of, how could you have made a World War II game, even this game, where it's like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 AIs in Europe alone, right? Right now, after a bunch of them have already been conquered. So it is interesting in that sense, where you can simulate so
Well, I think the
much more.
biggest thing about... So Blitzkrieg was the style of warfare, and it certainly emphasized the speed and movement of taking strong, bold moves as early as possible to dominate and cut off ground.
Well, okay, so we just encircled. Sorry, I just want to pause for a second on this conversation. We just encircled about 60,000 Germans, including one heavy armored division, which is great because I can only see. Let's see if we can count how many they have. I mean, they've only got like 3 right now, and they're building
3 divisions.
Well, they did have 3, and now they don't anymore. 3 heavy armor.
Great.
So that's great news, and we've finally reached our winter objective, which was this river. We're actually across the river, so we can start our next push right away. I'm trying to think.
That was my next question: is having killed the heavy armor, now is there a hole behind them now that we can really smash through? That's a nice position. Yeah, that's a nice position where it disappeared, because you can either focus north or south, but it seems like there's opportunities, right? And it's true in Germany.
I mean, we got to get across this river.
Okay, yeah, but what's the target to go for?
Let's wait till the infantry. We got to wait till the infantry catches up with the armor first, and then once this infantry gets up
I'm just talking broad arrows in terms of the strategy view, not
actual
tactical orders.
I'm just going to get that infantry up there. Yeah, I think this is the key area to push, because it's the shortest distance to the next river, where we can start creating yet another.
Okay, so where the big German HQ is that armor beside it just to the south? Is that heavy armor, or is it just regular armor?
This is medium armor. And I don't see, where is their heavy armor? The heavy armor looks like down here. It's a thicker stripe. So this is all I'm seeing up here is medium armor, and not very much of it. They're probably down to, they might only have a dozen or so armored divisions in total.
So what I'm driving at is, where's our axis of advance going to be? And is it a big curving arc that goes just to the east of those brown hills and hooks north? Like, is there a there a swing past Berlin and up or something? Like, where are we chewing them up next?
Well,
Really
one thing. Okay, so there's two things.
How?
There's two things we should look at. First of all, in our original winter plan, we had talked about pushing all the way to Budapest in Hungary here, which I don't think is a bad idea, because.
Okay, we've gone so little in that direction. Maybe you were leaving it for summer or something.
Well, the thing is,
fine.
if we don't need to man the border with Romania, because I mean, swinging over here.
I thought they were tilting in the wrong direction. What is going on there now? Is it a few weeks passed and they're all happy, or are they being pricks and swinging to the bad side?
No, they're definitely moving towards the Axis, but I just don't know that there's enough of them to have it matter. Although I really am, this militia flank would be pretty damn irritating to deal with if they did join the war.
Well, a lot of our strength is so far west. Christ, it's going to take what, a month for it to get back to attack them?
Yeah. Wait a second though. Everything's ready. This could solve the problem here. How are we doing out east? Okay, that one's 85.9% done its upgrade. How are we doing out east here? Is it actually necessary for me to send all those units out here, or? Yeah, I'm not super loving how far the Japanese are into Mongolia. I really don't want them to encircle a large army up here. That would be a real nightmare to deal with. Just kind of wondering.
The beauty of Japan is there's very little you can fucking do. You just sort of sit there on the couch and pray or whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
At this stage.
Yeah.
Well, you may as well be taking them out by tramway.
Wait, where did those guards units I just deployed go? I just put them on the map somewhere. Oh, they're there. Okay, so problem solved. Let's move these guards units over here in case we need to deal with Romania. And that's the 30th Corps.
Now, it's Romania. By doing that, are you indicating that Romania is a walk in the park with a couple mechanized units? Or
the guards are not motorized, but they do have rocket artillery, and they're just really beefy infantry, so we can probably just march.
So we do have the rocket artillery. We get to play with the toys, yay.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I'll just keep that 30th Corps detached from any army for now, and I'll use that to beat up Romania if we need to. Because here's the thing, we can push. Well, I guess what I was getting to is we can push further here. We can make a line from the Yugoslavian, like where Hungary, Romania, and Yugoslavia meet. We can kind of push all the way here and have reasonably solid defenses all the way. At which point, that opens up a huge plain here all the way to Prague. We can move through Czechia and go all the way to Prague. We can also push. I mean, we're ultimately already across the river. Up here almost. Not quite. But yeah, we can get across this river up here and probably push. I mean, at this point, I don't know. I'm not sure that I'm not sure it's necessary for us to do that many grand encirclements. I think we can probably just push at this point. Like they have so few divisions. I think we should probably just.
You're gonna push back against the whole line.
Not against the whole line, but.
I'm just saying, if there's any place that I don't know. I mean, there should be a direction there.
There is, yeah. I'm just thinking, like, I'm just looking at where I can get across this river quickly, right? So I've got a bridgehead here, I think.
Well, I think you also fall back to, okay, where is the heavy armor that's on that line? And whatever you're doing should be an aid of trying to isolate the bastards, because that makes life easy.
Yeah, I don't know where they went. I think there's some down south. I don't see them right now.
There's nothing on the front line.
There's one right there. There's heavy armor right there. But I'm actually across this river, so let's see if we can deal with them. Okay. Let's take the infantry here. Pushing into the mountain forts, though. That's not good. Let's see if we can do it. Unlikely. We'll see. Maybe if I get rid of that.
Well, that's the challenge, right? I mean, if the AI was truly intelligent, they'd be using the heavy armor in such a way that was self-supporting, A, and B, using terrain in a way that it was like, forget it. There's just no way to outflank it and surround it, right?
Okay, so I think that's good. I think I can break across there. Let's try and break across.
Speaking of which, does our Air Force, is that particularly effective against this heavy armor?
Yeah,
Like
actually, one solution. You know what? That's a good point.
if it strikes me you saying forget it on the anti-tank, but hey,
well, we could use close air support. The reason I typically don't use close air support as Russia is the distances are so great. It's a very close range type thing. But I'll put some on the top of the queue. Do we even have any CAS? Oh, we already have some.
We already have some. We had some. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now, what's our bomber technology like?
We'd started there. I know we did early. We did at least one world.
Let's put this guy then up top. Yeah. So by May, we'll have better light bombs for our...
Good, because by fluke it seems to have been reasonably effective too, right?
Yeah. Okay, let's see here.
Auto. Okay.
Let's move this guy to Krakow and see if we can crack this line faster by ground attacking. First, do we have air support for those? Oh, don't do that. We have to actually get air superiority before we can do that, of course. Which go get those guys.
I'm dropping not the Discord. I just dropped the YouTube.
Weird.
No, I did that on purpose because I want to try and get the stream, but I don't see.
We can check on it in a second for sure.
Okay, it's just because I am like so far behind. Oh, there it is. Okay, thank you. All done. Right, life is fixed.
Okay, let me see if I can get enough air superiority in this area to actually use close air support effectively.
Oh wow. Yeah, I think air support's the way to go. I was going to mention that earlier. I know I was.
No, you know what? I didn't think of it, but basically you can certainly.
Because again, like this heavy armor and this, how do you punch through and all this stuff?
The close air support is particularly.
And it's got to be a technology we're relatively close to because we're such a laggard, right?
Yeah. Anyway, we're just having to chew through the Hungarian Air Force here to gain air superiority, and then we can bomb these fuckers. Also seem to have a fuel shortage in Krakow. That sucks. Do I have a Russian-controlled airfield somewhere? Because clearly our Polish puppet state is not doing a good job supplying our armies. Okay.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was the other weirdness. Yeah, Poland's a puppet. That's right.
Yeah, it's just bizarre. That's just Hearts of Iron 4 being weird because we didn't. It's when you don't do the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, it gets really weird. And Hearts of Iron 4 is a little bit better at that kind of nonsense. It doesn't. It does allow you to do a little bit more ahistorical stuff. In fact, it allows you to do too much ahistorical stuff. It's like, would you like to make a fascist UK, or would you like to, fight against? I don't know. You can I'm France. I want to conquer the United States. Like that's what it lets you do, which kind of bonkers.
Okay, yeah, it gets it.
It gets a bit silly.
Silly, yeah, I agree.
Although I think it'd be pretty difficult.
Yeah, completely non sequitur. The space exploration thing. What was the DLC? You hadn't streamed it really, I don't think. It came out.
Oh, No Man's Sky.
Yeah, sorry.
No Man's Sky's been letting everyone redo all the expeditions, which is really cool. What
do you mean by redo them?
Well, they were time limited. They were released for weeks at a time, and you only had those weeks to actually do them. So they've over the.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, over the holidays you can redo. I mean, the first one's already done again, but there's they which I think was smart. I hope they do that again in the future. Okay, there's the heavy armor there. I'm still gonna try and surround it though.
Yeah.
You can use close air support, but we don't. Our technology for close air support's not that advanced.
No, I know. It sounds like let's focus on that area. It's actually been surprisingly effective, apparently. Two, we can't get any other kind of superiority other than just throw things at it.
What I'm doing with it right now is just hitting these medium armor divisions to speed up this combat here. I don't think it's doing very much, but it does help a little bit. Certainly don't want to attack with armor.
And
I'm
you
getting
know, at least
bombed
once
here.
a month you want to check your numbers. If it's 1217 all the way through, I sort of scratch my head at this
Well,
point.
it's based on your intelligence stat, so it's an estimate based on how good your intelligence is, right? It's not an accurate
Well,
number.
is that something else we can invest more in, or are you sort of
Yeah, I just
handcuffed?
put some research point into encryption, so or decryption, sorry, so that will help. Let's try and
That's the one thing, though. True. I mean, Civ does that too, right? Is names of technologies in the sort of tree of technologies sometimes are not very helpful.
well, decryption is just like the idea is it's like the intelligence war, right? So you're
Yeah. No, I know.
okay. So here we go. As soon as I
Progress in an
advance,
intelligence direction. Right.
as soon as we advance, of course, the heavy armor attacks, but we attack it from behind to pin it down, because it's going to just shred through our infantry. In fact, you can support that attack, and then this guy can move forward.
Okay. That's the thing. It's hard to appreciate. Is yeah, you can. There's a lot more control over direction on what you're doing, right?
Well, that's it, and this is partly what I don't like about as much about Hearts of Iron 4 is you kind of get stuck just, you know, it's like the whole, you can do the big picture better, but you can't do this little minute stuff. So
Where you're actually attacking into the flank, and it's just hard to appreciate.
okay,
Yeah.
so I need to keep attacking this guy. God, I can't even put a dent in him. Territorial pride, leader skill, combined arms, terrain, envelopment penalty. Where's the piercing thing? Attacker damage bonus. I don't know. I don't know, man. Be curious to see when I see the recording if there's something like really fucked up with the sound or something. There shouldn't be though. I've got levels in front of me.
What? Somebody complaining about the
No. Someone said I think, but it wasn't very clear. So I don't know.
again, or you
No.
talking about the
No.
old
Just that comment.
that one comment. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so they're actually moving a bunch of stuff north, which means while they do that, let's take some ground down here, because this is basically an open plain at this point. While they move north.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll just, like, see they're moving everything up. So
Okay, but that's also okay. So we got that little hint covered, though. The ship that's moving north, like, what are they up to? Like, yeah, take the open gap, kick ass. But is there some surprise we're not seeing? Okay. Yeah.
So no, I don't think so. And I don't know where that.
Okay, that's fine.
Heavy armor
You
go?
know me, I'm paranoid.
Oh, there's the heavy armor. Okay. Right. I stop that nonsense. This is a waste of time for now. I need more troops up here. Come on, let's go. Trying to pin this fucker down.
See, what I didn't appreciate, the heavy armor, you can attack it from another province, which in effect means
Yeah,
the game you're attacking. You're attacking it from a different direction. It's a flank, it's a rear, it's whatever.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It really does.
Which doesn't seem to be helping us that much. Right now, I'm waiting for this infantry to move through and behind it so that. Okay, did it stop attacking yet?
It's all about direction in this game, whereas in fucking EU4, it's about getting stacks into the same province at the same time or thereabouts.
Well, exactly,
right?
yeah, and that's that's always been the difference between Europa Universalis and Hearts of Iron. Ever like way back in the day.
Yeah.
Stop that river crossing. Let's get this militia a little bit better placed so we don't leave a gap in the front here in case we do get attacked. Looks good to me. Actually, the militia, all in all, the militia is more or less paid off because it's basically just kind of an infinite reserve of... Okay, let's take this armor here and go to Budapest. How can we peace out Hungary? We can get Hungary out of the war.
I know, that was the original plan a long fucking time ago.
Yeah, so basically what I'll do here is any armor I have in here, I'm just going to...
It is just a hole. There's no fucking gray, so why don't you just drive right at Budapest?
What's going on here? Oh, the Italians have finally caught our submarines.
By caught means what? They're engaging them or they're destroying them?
Probably engaging, maybe destroying.
Okay.
Yeah, I could definitely use a bigger air force, actually. I'm, who have I got that's not... Oh, these guys I can pull up to the front. Where's most of the air battles happening here? Yeah, in this area here. So let's move you up here. Serve. And just do this. Thank you.
It's interesting how they do that.
How they do what?
Just the way they handle that. You know, this air conflict or whatever.
Yeah, I overall...
I mean, if they really put a logistical spin on it where you could, let's say, optimize with putting in mobile fields and taking over infrastructure and improving it such that, you know, yeah, you really could bring, shall we say, air units to bear in some concentration.
Well, I mean, is
and move it across a wide front. I think that would be cool. Like, you know, if you got paid off for the effort, paying attention a bit.
Well, I did a little bit of a cheat there. Not a cheat, but it's like, I don't know if it's truly intended to be done that way, but basically, usually when you move air units across the fronts, they take a while to, like, a few weeks or so to regain organization.
No, for fuck's sakes, that's not realistic in the sense that that's the one thing that the Allies were quite capable of doing, was moving...
By the end of the war. Yes, but
well,
not...
yeah, but I
start.
mean... Well, I don't know. Like, really? I mean, you need flat ground.
Yeah, it depends how far you're going, and it depends. Honestly, I'm inclined to agree, and there is a way to do it. Like, I know a way to do it in this game so that you don't lose the organization. But the other thing, too, is that we're not talking about moving a squadron here. We're talking about moving, like, I just moved, like, 2,000 planes. So it's a little bit different. It's a little bit more akin to assembling a...
Seems like an awfully big number of planes, but, yeah, okay, fine.
It seems... Oh, shit. I want to cancel that. Damn it. It's a little bit more akin to, like, assembling a new air force, you know? Like, I'm imagining, like, the thousands of Hurricanes and Spitfires arriving in North Africa after the Battle of Britain and being assembled into the Desert Air Force, which is a completely different...
It wasn't thousands, it was more like hundreds.
Well, hundreds, yeah. At that point, it was hundreds, yeah. But I guess what I'm saying is it's, you know...
Probably... You'd be surprised at how low the numbers would actually be, I think.
You know, it was hundreds, but it is assembling a whole new combat unit, right? Versus just moving... Oh, fuck. Why am I encircled here? Oh. Wasn't paying attention. Okay. I was paying attention to the other front. Did we not succeed anywhere to get across here? No. So we were unable to trap. I hope I didn't lose. Oh, we're not encircled, which is just a really sketchy salient. And they're still struggling to whittle down this armor. But you know, at the end of the day, when you have twice as many divisions.
That's a heavy armor. Again, if it's a heavy armor and it's eventually gone, well, that's all the good. That front's just getting weaker and weaker.
Yep. Okay, who have we got? You should stay there, actually. There we go. Meanwhile, we're moving towards Budapest.
Oh wow.
Yep.
We really are, aren't we? Shit.
Yeah, well, they started strategically redeploying all the way up here, and I saw those troop movements, and I was like, I'll take it. Wonder how much research was done into military logistics to estimate the time units take to mobilize to different theaters. Do you mean like research after the fact or in preparation for war, Lucario? Because I think when I mentioned earlier, I don't know if you were here. There we go. I've encircled 4 Hungarian divisions.
It's way better watching this friggin' stream than the goddamn YouTube. That was just starting to drive me absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, well, I bet. I mean, I'm sure it's insane for you because like the viewers are consistently a few minutes behind, right? So maybe I'm a little slow on the chat messages sometimes, but if you're behind and I'm talking directly to you, it's like you're not looking at what I'm talking about, you know?
No, I'm just listening to you and chatting at that point, which is fine. I mean, I have a picture of what's going on, and I usually contribute
but it is
by
an
asking
interesting
questions or putting forward suggestions. Now it's a lot. Now at least the movement. Yeah.
Corresponds with what's going on, yeah. That's not surprising. Okay, we are 2 provinces from Budapest.
That happened way faster than I thought it would.
Well, I noticed.
It's been so slow before.
Well, but I noticed there's two
leaving,
reasons. Right? First of all, I noticed the massive evacuation of German troops from this whole region, right? So I just went for it, and that's when I started moving here. Got to be really careful.
So the next question is there a curling swing? Assuming you get to Budapest, they fold up and die. The Hungarians, the punch north from that army that went south into Budapest, should be thinking ahead to that. You know, like maybe there's an encirclement to come. Or what intelligence can you get in that area, or what's the terrain? But anyways.
Well, I think what's probably what we're gonna do here. Oh, Lucario, your stream is flowing smoothly, no lag or delayed content. I don't know whether it could just be... I doubt it's like my dad's internet or something like that. I don't think so. No, it can't be because he's getting the stream live on Discord. So no, I think there's probably is a delay. It's just that because my dad and I are like, because he's commenting the action basically, he finds it particularly aggravating. I think you wouldn't notice as a viewer because if you're consistent.
Oh yeah, because I'm literally I don't know, maybe I screwed up the whole feed, but like I'm easily 30 seconds behind in terms of what I'm seeing visually.
I don't think you'd notice in the chat, right? If you're not live. So if you're watching and you're not actually basically having a phone conversation with me at the same time, and I don't think you would notice the lag. Okay, what's going on up north here where I've almost gotten encircled, but I've... Shit, okay, it's fine. Move that armor. No, that armor needs to be there. Okay, I need these two guys to come down and through here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to encircle it. I'm 2 provinces away. I think they'll start to run, but we'll see. I'm getting a lot of background noise from your end, which is...
I'm going to mute in a second. Just bear with me.
All right.
Sorry.
I don't know what you're doing. It sounds like you're making yourself a drink or something, which is fine by me.
Yes, it does involve consuming something.
Mm-hmm.
I just have... It'll be too loud, so I'll have to put it on mute.
Yeah, there's a broadcast delay. That's right. It's not. I'm glad to hear though that the stream itself is.
A broadcast delay. Yes, that's a better way of terming it.
Exactly. So it's not a lag in terms of like you shouldn't be getting any kind of choppy visuals or anything. Ooh, Timoshenko. Okay, I really need to attack into this infantry here. That should be easy. 1, 2. Ooh, grim. Okay, let's get that armor. I've got armor coming, so let's just start that battle. And now at this point, where's my Cass? Huh, interesting. Let's start bombing the living shit out of that heavy armor, just so that they don't try and escape. I also need to win this battle. Come on, reinforce chance, please. Do I have an attack, dude? Attack reinforce chance. Come on. No fucking way, man. Shit. That's okay. That might not have been... Not ideal, though. Not ideal. Okay. This battle needs to be won. They've actually put a 2nd division in there. Another armored division, which is great news. So we'll encircle 2 if we actually get there. On time. What have I got here? Get this guy into combat. Okay, looks like we've pretty much sealed up the back door here. You can just move to there. You can join that whenever you get a chance. Who else have I got here? Not much. I just need to wait 32 hours, and then I can cut this bastard off. Am I getting a stacking penalty here? No, there's not. Okay, there we go. Alright. Okay, we've done it. We've done it. We've encircled another heavy armor unit. Just make sure that we actually close it properly. Oh, now he's going to try and escape. Let's pin him down again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we can't move. How long till this unit arrives? Wait. Oh, shit. Did I cancel all the movement orders? Shit. I had the perfect encirclement and I might have just fucked it up. I might have accidentally canceled. Well, you're the one who's gonna do... Oh no, you're still going. Looks good to me. We just need to hold them down until... For 2 days, actually. Shit, that sucks. So move this guy north as well. Just gonna make sure I don't actually prompt him to flee. Ah, there we go. Perfect. Alright. Done it. Jesus, look at how many forces I needed just to encircle this one bloody division. Maybe heavy armor is not so bad after all. I've got like 20 divisions just to bog down this one heavy armor one. You know what though? You can build 20 divisions for the same price as one heavy armor, so. Come on. Don't you escape. Oh yeah, we could also invade Persia.
I'm back now.
Okay, good.
I'll disappear for a minute because
Yep.
I'm just hungry. That's what the noise was about.
No, I figured as much. Yeah, I'm getting kind of pickish too. Well, in fact, it's getting on there. Okay, we just conquered Hungary. I wasn't even paying attention, so Hungary just capitulated. So this is gonna change the map. So Hungary has capitulated. Yugoslavia's in the Axis too, but like, look, their border is completely unguarded. So I think there's basically, yeah, this is actually a no-brainer. How many? I think it might be worth devoting forces to conquering Yugoslavia and here and just like mop up this whole southern flank. But I don't know. Are we going to have enough to hold off the... Yeah, we are.
I don't know. Do you want to get forces that far south is really the question.
Yeah, and I don't have much
why not
armor
turn
down
around and head back north and cut behind the Germans?
Yeah, yeah. For now, we'll just... we'll conquer Slovakia just for kicks. Because it's right here. Right in front of us. But I've got all this infantry now. Wait, don't do that. There we go. Take all this infantry and push it over here. What I would want to do... I mean, the thing is, Yugoslavia is completely unguarded. I think we've got to. I think we've got to at least send troops on a little foray down here. At the very least, get down to this river. I'm just gonna send some stacks down there and see if it happens. Getting a port next to Giovanni's force? Yeah. Yeah. I definitely think. Of course, that's the tricky thing. You know what's interesting too? I bet you Italy is basically unguarded because they've got all these bloody divisions on the Eastern Front. I can see from my submarines here that they're not garrisoning the ports in Sicily. Now it looks like the Brits have kicked Vichy France mostly back out of. Actually, it looks like the Brits have kicked the Italians all the way back to Tobruk. So. Things are not looking rosy for Italy. In some ways, it would be almost interesting to swing down and nab Italy before the Allies can get there, you know? Imagine Soviet Italy. Germany can wait, man. We've got them surrounded.
That would be too funny.
It would be, yeah. Any day now, the Allies are going to drop something on Sicily for sure. But I don't know. Sometimes they just don't have the... troops to do it. Takes the Allies so much longer to build up. Yeah, I'm just going to send an army kind of down here, and we'll see how much resistance we run into. But if we don't run into any resistance, I'll just keep going. Just march into... march into Yugoslavia. What's going on here? Oh. Yeah, should be fine. I'm just gonna push. There we go. That's the heavy armor dead there. Also, because Hungary, there's still Hungarian divisions fighting for the Germans, of course.
Okay, so I guess the one thing that why the German units are heading north is there's a gap there where it's just basically green units, right?
Well, all of this is basically their puppet states, except there's one German motorized division and looks like a German infantry division.
Yes, they're trying to plug the hole that's about to disappear. If you hit at those green units, are we going to be able to
Well,
Seal the.
the bigger question now is, can I just push across the river and take Berlin? Because now they're moving south. So let them move some more troops south, distract them in the south. I've still got all this heavy. I mean, how many armored divisions do I have up here? Like 20. So.
Oh wow.
So it's
Okay,
like
that's just not apparent to me. Oh, no, okay.
because they're in stacks. So it's for me, it's like I feel like what we do now is we wait until they inevitably try and come down here to this flank to defend because we've opened a huge hole in their flank here, right? I mean, there's nothing. Hungary just capitulates. There's nothing guarding it. So.
Yes. Yes, that's why I advocate swinging north. But you want to go. You're going to send one. Just don't, waste. Well, it's fun to take Italy out of the war. Maybe that would be hilarious. But
it would actually be. I bet you by the time. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see where we get. I'm gonna reform this army here.
Certainly cutting across the top part of Yugoslavia.
I'll devote this 14th army to conquering Yugoslavia. It's an army with like three small corps in it. I can definitely do that. It's the one that we picked off of the Romanian border. That's fine. We can definitely afford to lose to use those units for that. And then the forces we have up here. All we're gonna do is take these armored units, swing around. We're gonna head into Vienna.
Okay.
Good. I think so. I think we can make it to Vienna before they swing around. If not, then we'll get a stable front going kind of along the Alps here. It was not necessarily in my goal to go all the way to Vienna, actually, but why stop in Budapest, right? Yeah, they're falling apart at this point. I think there was a big siege, actually, in the Soviet advance in this part of Europe. Was it? There were a few.
I know nothing about what the Soviets truly did in that part of the.
It's an interesting part because really? I mean we think of it as just kind of the epilogue of the whole war, but no, those were huge operations. I mean they were really fighting till the bitter end.
That's a lot of area, right?
Well, and they were really fighting until the bitter end, and there were millions and millions of soldiers involved, right? So okay, they're trying to push forward again up here, which is insane.
I don't know to what degree there was resistance really through like Austria, Yugoslavia. No, I don't think so. Not nearly as. Well,
I don't know about Austria, but I do know that there was some kind of siege. God, I've got so many divisions. It's just insane. But this is where the one thing about they've left a gap on their river there, so I'll take that river crossing. In fact, take the whole army across the river. Fuck it. We've surrounded Breslau. This is where Germany falls apart. I'll cross the river there too. Why not? I'm just gonna push across the line up here right now because. They have they're basically leaving Berlin unguarded. They don't have any divisions left. They're done. They don't have any divisions left.
Well, the funny thing, the way you were describing it and how we walked through fucking Hungary, I'm sort of saying, have we just really won the war?
Well, what happened is, and I gotta say,
hang on. I would not be cutting too deep into Yugoslavia. I'd be cutting across the north of Yugoslavia to Italy. I mean it. Really being aggressive and pushing in there because who knows? Maybe it's topple time.
Yeah. Yeah, anyways. I mean, for sure. I just this army's gonna have to move through there anyway, so I'll just move down and grab.
That whole front is straightening geographically. If you just sort of zoom completely out, all of a sudden it's just getting really straight north-south, eh?
Yeah. Yep. Okay, yeah. Let's push here. Let's cut these armies off behind. Push in the middle there. Actually getting a surprising amount of resistance moving into Slovenia here. Or Slovenia.
Isn't the terrain sort of working against us? Oh, isn't it sort of mountains, hills, that kind of shit?
Yeah, we've just pushed through most of it though, so...
Okay.
We basically just pushed right through the hills there, and that was worth it. No, but anyway, when the Soviets did get down to these areas, I mean, it was pretty hard fighting. There was a siege. I wonder whether it was Budapest. There was at least one siege in Eastern Europe, in sort of Central Europe. Sorry, not Eastern.
I don't know.
There was definitely a fairly long siege.
They probably,
like 1944 or something.
I probably don't cut it, with just how big it is and how up and down and probably. I don't know. Part of the world can't say.
Part of the world most
proud
Westerners are not very aware of. Yeah, that's why you should read.
Familiar with.
That's why you should read Norman Davies. He's like this British historian, but he's like obsessed with Poland, and his history of Europe is great because he focuses on all the bits that you don't learn in school. It's very cool. Okay, so we are pouring across this river. Not so much up here, actually. Why are we having so much trouble against this one infantry division? What's going on here? You have good generals. Ah, there we go. We're across the river down here. Push them across the front. Yeah, they can't even cover their entire border now. This is it, guys. The only thing left is to...
Wow. So you got to keep pushing north, too, behind the front, too. Yeah, don't...
Well, because they started strategically redeploying south, and like you can see here, there's like gaps in their line. I mean, it's just nuts. They don't have anything left to defend with, so... There is a trick you can do in this game because of the way the supply system works. If you surround their capital, but you don't take the capital, supply flows from the capital, so you can actually completely strangle that. Most multiplayer games, from what I understand, when this game was big in multiplayer, people used to ban that because it's goofy. Okay, I need this.
Surround the capital and starve the country. Yeah.
Yeah, basically. Like, because all supply flows from the capital, which you'd be. I mean, it's kind of a system that they've kind of abstracted.
Mm-hmm.
It's a system that works in surprisingly well in most circumstances. It's I can actually strategically redeploy through some of Hungary because it's my controlled territory now. So I might want to do that. Okay, what's going on?
Yeah, if you can get behind the German line to some degree because of Hungary and drive north, I mean, you're going to fold up the line in two different directions. It's going to be sick.
Yep. Okay, so let's do that and attack there with the armor just to keep these guys pinned down. We are going to take Berlin in a second. Wow. This I gotta say, this starts to be the point.
What's the date?
It is the 1st of May, 1941. So Germany, this war started. I'd be curious to go and look at the first YouTube video and see like when the war started, because I think the war started like maybe in 39. I feel like we've gone through like 2 winter campaigns. So it's like a 2-year war, at least. Like, I think we declared war on them. Yeah, because they were at war with France. So we would have declared war on them in... You know what? I don't even think so. I think it's been about a year and a half. We defeated Germany in a year and a half. I mean, they're not defeated yet, but they're actually moving a fair number of divisions down here. But let's take these guys and strategically redeploy. No, I think it's worth taking out Yugoslavia. I think it's worth it. And they're almost there anyway. I'm gonna cut behind them here anyway. They're fucked. Ending the Eastern Front 3 years ahead of time. Ending the Eastern Front before it even started, really.
Yep, not bad.
Not bad. But that's it. I find with this game, like, there's always one thing that like breaks them, right? Like, you really do know when you've won, because there's just nothing left. I gotta say, it makes me want to do... If I play Hearts of Iron 3 again on stream, I will probably play as Germany. Because it's hard. And as any other country, I mean, any other major country, it's not that hard. Well, Japan is kind of hard. Italy's... Yeah, actually, all the Axis countries are hard because they were doomed. So, and you can win. I mean, I have literally invaded the United States as Germany before in this game, but it's not easy, and it takes a fair amount of planning and coordination, and you have resource shortages and. But yeah, let's at least take Berlin before we end our stream. Which actually, we're having a bit of a surprising. Not really, actually.
Yeah, no, this is perfect.
Yeah, let's take... I don't see...
Because we don't need to... It's nice to be able to end it.
There's 2 things I'm going to do here. I'm going to surround that division. There's 2 things I'm going to do here. I'm going
Save it, though.
Oh, I will. I'm going to I'm just going to keep pushing everywhere, and then we're going to take Berlin, and then what I'll do is I'll automate the entire army and just unpause. I'll save first, and you can watch the AI conquer the rest of Europe.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's what I usually like to do when I'm like satisfied with my... We've actually got a fair number of divisions coming across here. I mean, it's not like the war is totally over, but I mean... It wouldn't...
Well, what really surprised me was how it was crumbling up north, because...
Well, they had to redeploy. Like, all these units here are going to cover off their southern... I've got about 20 divisions down here. Well, where'd they come from? They had to come from up here, or, like, some kind of reserve units they had in the west, right?
That's why I don't want the units to go too far south in Yugoslavia. I want them close to the German units at the south there. But if you cut into Italy, can we knock it out of the war, you see? You're not going to take out Yugoslavia. That's a huge area, I think.
Well, I don't have any motorized troops. Tell you what, though, I will... Let's wrap them... We can wrap them around here. We can send these guys down there, and these guys here. And we can just kind of... At least we'll get across the river here. But, right now we're about to take Bratislava, the capital of Slovakia. So that's gonna help.
This is good.
Let's just send those two there. And can I encircle these guys, please? Oh, not really. Okay, how are we doing up north, where the battle for Berlin is ongoing here? It's interesting. It was pretty much impossible for us to cross this river when we started the stream. It just wasn't happening. We needed to break through in the south to get across. And we needed to disperse their forces. Like, we surrounded piecemeal, and it wasn't giant encirclements. It was like little piecemeal.
No, we're past that now.
Well, but it was little piecemeal encirclements of you know,
We started off big at the start of the whole...
Well, the big encirclement was the Germans who were overextended in Poland here. We encircled 20 divisions up there, and that's just Germany.
And we declared war on purpose to do that to them.
Exactly.
To fuck them over. Yeah.
Yeah, in some ways it's fun to play. I often like to play the historical campaign if I'm playing as the Soviets or as the British, for example. One of the best Hearts of Iron 4 campaigns I ever had, I played as the UK, and I built up a little bit early, and I declared war on them right as they did Anschluss. Like, not even Czech Republic. I declared war on them as soon as they annexed Austria.
Broke a rule. Yeah.
And what that meant is that the Czechs were never in the war, the Polish were never in the war. It was like, and I kept France alive the whole war just by supplying them with higher quality British divisions, basically. And then and
you were able to do that just because Germany is that much...
They're that much weaker. They don't have the industrial capacity and leadership they get from Poland and everything, right? Like, it's just... It makes a big difference. Oh, I want actually take that guy.
Oh, from that point, in terms of
they don't have the resources. They don't. So, like, you know, all this, there really was just this that was Germany, right? And you know, I think Italy joined the war at some point. Italy joined the war at some point.
I think that's in a way as a false scale. I realize where they got to do it, but for the game giving you area.
Well, you get a reduced amount of you get a reduced amount of industrial capacity from you get a reduced amount of industrial capacity from territory that you conquered. So it's not, you know, you don't get all the resources of the countries that you conquer. You get a fraction of them. But when the problem, what makes Germany hard to conquer is that they are drawing on a substantial amount of resources from all of Europe, which is, you know, which is not that ahistorical in the sense that, you know, if anything, they had a hard time extracting as many resources as they needed from what they conquered. But look at this. It's happening. Berlin is going to fall. I'm not paying as much attention to the other front as I should here, but look at it. We got big pockets forming. Oh, shit. Okay, I've actually slightly overextended myself down here, but not that bad. We took Bratislava, but I wasn't paying attention, so... Okay, and we've got some dregs moving in here. They don't even have what they would need to encircle. These armored units are like way deep in enemy territory, my armored units, but like they don't even have what they would need to encircle them, and my infantry is catching up, so pretty wild. Oh, and there's what's that?
So we're actually going to end up inadvertently absorbing pieces of them again.
Absorbing pieces.
Yeah, the front is just So straightening up north-south, it's hilarious. It is just wild.
Yeah.
Think how that front has moved.
Yeah. No, it was we just swung a hinge down here basically.
We were at the top point of Romania at the start of this story, and that was a late move. Oh man, wow.
I don't even know. Like, I don't think Germany can stabilize a front here. This is when I typically stop. Like,
well, the only frustrating thing is, of course,
we conquered Slovakia.
Your fog of war is that you're really only seeing like a province or two in, so you don't know what's behind all that.
You can see their HQ.
But clearly there isn't much.
No. Oops, forgot about you.
What the fuck is Praha? Is that Prague?
Yep, Prague.
Okay, I've never seen that spelling before.
Yeah. Oh, that's the Czech spelling. Paradox is kind of cool in that they actually try to use as much as possible. Oh, our first aircraft carrier finished. well. Now we're a real world power.
Are you fucking kidding me? Where is this going to appear?
I put them. I just stuck it into our Baltic fleet.
Good, because putting out Japan probably a little suicidal at this stage. But anyways.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Japan. Huh. Well, are we gonna have to? No fucking way am I waiting for all those troops to strategically redeploy.
Actually, you know, it's interesting. Yeah, okay, so just stop for a second, freeze. So where it used to be a slightly straighter line, it looks like a shallow M if you zoom out in terms of the front, right? In terms of what they've occupied. So the question is, yeah, we still haven't moved back all the way to the river to the north of Lake Baikal, so it's like easy peasy, slow progress.
Yeah, well, here's the thing too. I remember when I was.
And the reality is, once we take the Germans out, the war's over anyway. So.
When I was manually doing it, I remember I had these units here to the east of Lake Baikal, and I was thinking, fuck, if they cover off this province, like I can't get out of there, and they held it. The AI held it, so. What do you know? Now the Japanese are slowly moving around here, and I probably need a few more units. There's like 1, 2, 3 provinces. Oh, and then Jibai Sanma joined with the Axis, so that's weird. But yeah, no. It would be.
But that's in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. I mean, like that is like so seriously.
I think the infrastructure's the infrastrucrure's so bad they can't cross the border.
Of rock or something, right?
I mean, yeah. That's yeah, they can't. Anyway, they can't move through the mountains. Right? No, it's a desert actually. They can't move through it though. It's the infrastructure's too low.
That's the worst desert in the world, practically. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Gobi Desert, right? I think it's the Gobi Desert.
I thought it was the Tamilak or whatever. There's one that's absolutely brutal. Maybe that.
I don't know. I get them confused.
Location.
Let's conquer Berlin.
I get confused with. Yeah. All right. So where are we?
We're
gonna take this
attacking. I'm just attacking it, head on basically. But I'll try and move some armored divisions to the back just to make it more dramatic. We can also take that port. Why not? Come on now. Wow. Am I overstacking?
They're really saying there isn't any resistance. Wow.
Well, I mean, there is
a little bit, but
take the 22nd Armored Division out so we don't overstack. I'm actually doing a full armored assault on a city too, which is not generally how you do it, but just trying to speed things up here. And how are we doing down here? Anybody getting encircled? Not really.
Wow, it's just really soft, isn't it?
There's nothing left. I mean, they just don't have.
Wow, like just look how porous it is. That is just weird, wild. Wow, and they were trying to do something, yeah.
Well, I mean, they were just freaking out. They were just losing their shit.
Whoa! Look at how. Wow. Yeah, it's really funny how Interesting game.
For sure. Yeah.
Interesting the way conflict works itself out in terms of the.
Well, this is what I like about this one. In Heartsfire 4, you're a little bit more zoomed out, and you're kind of controlling it really at the macro scale, which has the advantage of not having to do all of these little manipulations that I'm doing. But once you get kind of in the zone with this game, you sort of do it instinctively. Like it's not like I'm really paying much attention to what I'm doing right now. There's a big part of this game is the whole industrial build-up at the start, which actually you weren't.
Well, it's a little bit like Civ 6 when you snowball. I mean, you're taking out a city or two every turn, just sort of cleaning up the map so that you can technically win the domination.
Yeah.
victory.
Yeah, if I wanted to give myself a challenge here, I would take Yugoslavia. I would try and get to Rome before the Allies do. I would try and get to Paris.
Well, that's
before
why
the
I
Allies
was
do.
saying why you would swing across the north of, because that's what they did. They went across the northern part of Yugoslavia. I thought, well, maybe not. I don't know.
We've
Sorry,
almost
the Allies.
surrounded Berlin at this point, so we've almost created a pocket in Berlin. Let's grab these 2 armored divisions and keep pushing. So whatever's left there, yeah, we're not even gonna encircle them. They're just gonna have to flee. Oh, maybe. We'll see. Yeah, at this point of the game, the front gets really, really broad, and it's like almost impossible to control everything yourself. So at this point of the game, I would usually take like that southern army. I might automate it or something, or there's also a very
that's if you have your order of battle right.
Yeah, exactly. And there you go. That's Berlin. So Germany's not going to capitulate, obviously, because they're only at 27% surrender progress here, but because they still control a lot of the rest of Europe. Getting a warm water port in the middle of the Mediterranean would be so overpowered. Yeah, good thing we're building carriers, right? If we're gonna conquer Italy, we better start playing the naval game, right? But yeah, so that's the Western Front, though. I'm gonna save now because I think we're gonna have to end the stream here. But I'm going to do a thing which will be kind of fun before we end it. Where did my Guards Corps go? God damn it! It was the 30th Corps. I don't fucking know. Oh, I put it. Oh yeah, I put it to defend against. There they are. I swear it was the 30th Corps.
What? Was it the Suicide Squad defending?
Oh right, I can't deploy it to the 30th Corps because it's in Poland. Okay. Yeah, now we have a stupid donut Poland in the middle, so the map doesn't look that great. Anyway, so what I'm gonna do is save. Okay, and actually I'll just save it to the Soviet stream file. There we go. And then here, let's do a couple things here. First of all, Persia needs to go. Oh wait, Central Asian Theater, automate. Oops. No. There we go. Okay. And then there we go. And now we can take... Did I automate you? Yes, I did. So where are you? Damn it. Okay. Western Theater. 9th Army. What are you attached to? Oh, tell you what. You can invade Romania, because why wouldn't we? Okay. Oh, that's militia, though. Not for now. And then, yeah, we'll just, we'll take this guy here, Western Theater. And I'll just put a spot on Paris. And now we've automated everything. Has it got a bunch of air units attached to it? Yeah, it's got air units. That's all it needs. In fact, we'll just take everything we got and attach it to the Western Theater. Can I see this?
Where was the line, before you start this, where was our original line? Where did we start the furthest back of the entire battle against Germany?
It was the border with Poland. We had taken the Baltic states, but it was this border here. And yeah, so that's how much land, like everything you see here is what we've taken. Like Poland plus all that. So we didn't actually take that much. I mean, not as much as the Japanese took.
No, but we took,
but it's important bits.
That's
and last stream we took East Prussia. Yeah, last stream we kind of took Poland and East Prussia and everything, and we were, Anyway, I'm gonna unpause now. I'm put on speed 5, and we'll just. Oh wait a second. I gotta turn these off.
Fucking notification.
Yep. This is why I have to reset them every time, and now you can just watch. Now
this is speed 5. This is speed 5.
Yeah.
Wow, has everything ever happened fast? Shit.
Yeah, and you lose a lot of manpower doing it this way.
No kidding.
Believe it or not, the AI is not super good at the.
Wow, interesting how it's progressing in the north. Yeah.
Oh, Bismarck and Tirspitz found and killed some of our subs. They're still an issue.
That's ridiculous. They're the biggest fucking target known to mankind. I would say the front's not moving particularly quickly, but it did move in the north.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
you know
Berlin
what?
finally fell.
No. It's just that the event is delayed for some reason. It always comes up like. So we're all the way in Denmark. It is
yeah.
so it would take us the entire summer basically to. What's our war goal against them? Okay, 57%.
We're 57% now. Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
Attach this to the Western Theater. Okay. Yeah, at this point you get so much industrial capacity too. There's like nothing left to build. Unless you're like Germany. If you're Germany and
What do you mean
like,
there's nothing left to build?
I mean,
I'm
building
upgrades.
I'm building mountains of. I mean, there's nothing else. There's no need for me to have that much industrial capacity because I don't need any more units. Oh yeah, I forgot.
Oh,
I'm recruiting officers.
Okay, but you could be pointing them at technological upgrades instead or something, right?
Yeah, yeah. But I probably overbuilt IC. Like I think I built like 30 industrial capacity at the start of the campaign.
It's basically just like acid eating its way across the top there. I'm annoyed though, they haven't gone into Italy yet. But they are going across the north part of Yugoslavia, so they're being a little bit smart.
Yeah, there's not that many divisions down here, but actually there's one of those German heavy armor divisions. Fucking shipwrecked and have a radar station. Have a radar station. I forgot I was even building ships. That's what we can build. We can be a naval power. What have we got here?
Oh my god.
Shitty destroyers. Tell you what.
What time is Whoa, what's the date right now?
Build 20 destroyers. Okay.
Yeah. What's the date right now?
It is this is July, so this is all happened on fast forward here in about 4 months.
Oh my god. It wasn't even that. It was more like 2.
Yeah. Because it was, what was it? These are heavy bombers.
Okay.
So we could start bombing them, but there's nothing left to bomb because we conquered it all. I don't even want to.
Well, the reality is if we didn't have heavy bombers before, we shouldn't have heavy bombers now. It's not like they pop up in a couple months.
Well, I put them in my production queue ages ago. All right, we are almost at Dusseldorf. Germany should be surrendering soon. Look how much. Jesus Christ.
What?
Our national unity is high. Okay, we conquered Yugoslavia.
Okay.
All right.
Let's get into Italy here and kick some ass. Fuck.
Conquer Italy, please.
Then maybe Britain might do something useful for us.
Britain is all the way to they're almost at Tripoli.
Well, it'd be nice if they kicked fucking Vichy France, because that would really fucking kneecap Germany, right?
Yeah, right.
I think, because...
No, Vichy France is, if they invaded the south, you mean?
Yeah, well, you'd think it would flip around.
I mean, what happened is Germany controls it, because as soon as they do Operation Torch, Germany takes control of the entire south, so...
Oh, right, but, I mean... It was actually still surprisingly weak, I think, their hold over the south.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
Oh, finally we're seriously...
In fact, you know, it's interesting. In fact, they probably could have done a D-Day down there.
We haven't got it yet. We haven't got Venice yet. Soon.
Oh, yeah. Wow, there's not very many troops down here, which is fine, because it's really hard to supply troops to the Alps, so... Germany should be surrendering very, very soon. Well, just because they control so much of France that they're just, I don't know, all the Nazis are just hiding out in France. Come on.
There's no Germany left for all intents and purposes, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, it's just, really? I don't know, it's just because they have leadership points that aren't in Germany that are fucking up their surrender progress. I'm also not paying attention to anything except the map here, so... This is just what I do at the end of a game.
Oh, yeah.
There we go, we annexed Germany. And all that's left of the Axis is Italy and Japan. And yeah, that's what it looks like. Why does Britain... Oh, right, Britain controls France because France is in the Allies. So Britain gets to administer France, even though we basically liberated. Actually, no Soviet troops in France. Huh, interesting. That's interesting. I've never done that before, or I have, I think. But because we were... Huh... You'd think if we liberated it, we'd get to... I guess France is allied with Britain.
Well, Vichy France still exists. This is the weird end of this story.
Yeah, well, it's because there's still the faction is still alive, because just Japan and Italy just become the faction leaders, whichever one is stronger. So Italy is now defending Vichy France or whatever. Yeah, not much point here. Yeah, we burned through in the whole episode. I think we burned through 100 manpower. Just that push there burned through like 400, and that's why you don't use AI control at the start of the game. The United Kingdom is requesting Lend-Lease from us. No.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, very funny. Anyhow, that was fun. That's a good way to end the campaign. Certainly, there wasn't much left to do there. As soon as we conquered Hungary, it was game over. It was game over for Germany because the whole country capitulated and they had no kind of back line. So yeah. Anyway, this was a fun stream. And I hope you guys who watched it on YouTube as well enjoyed it. I'll probably be posting it on the Paradox forums and stuff like that. But it's a pretty good campaign overall. We just kind of ignored what happened here.
Which was the right call. That front didn't change very much. It got a little wavy and ragged.
Well, and if I would just...
we weren't even to our back line, and when you look at we took more at practice. Well, not more in Europe, but
yeah.
Equivalent.
Well, on paved roads, though, right? Yeah.
Look how huge the Soviet Union is.
I mean, Japan's still very much a problem for the British. Oh yeah, look at that! They finally broke through in Burma, and they're
Japan did.
Japan is almost to Calcutta. So they still haven't conquered Australia, which is good to. No,
but the tide's going to turn. It's just a matter of how long does it take us to get our crack.
The real question is, let's before we go here, let's just tag USA. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Where's my? Oh, I gotta get my keyboard. Hang tight. Is it not on? There we go. That's it. I gotta get the US keyboard so that I can hit the tilde key. Tag USA. So we have 488 industrial capacity. The USA has 529. They still have more factories than us. And how about England?
What a weird way of getting information.
Well, it's just because it's not. I could put spies in them. It would just take time. Oh, England has 5. England also has more IC than us because they're getting. Oh my God, the USA. The USA has 580 IC, 500 of which, or 400 and almost 500 of which they're giving to the UK, so the UK can fight their war for them. That's hilarious. That's pretty wild. How many divisions? I want to look at the Allies. Allied army composition, total divisions. The UK has 414 brigades, while the UK has 184. The UK probably lost a lot of stuff. And then Brazil, Mexico, and Canada are the other countries with the largest armies. Tag to Italy. Italy has... Okay, Japan has 264. Actually, Italy only has 58. They must have thrown a lot into... the Eastern Front. We probably encircled a bunch of Italians because Japan, Manchukuo, and the parts of China they've conquered actually have a huge army. Gigantic. Probably not very strong, though. And then how many do we have? Tag Soviets. Oops. We have 851. So, yeah, Japan's army is still about half the size of our total army, though. But it's probably deployed here. It's deployed here. It's all over the place. And it would not be very hard.
The question is what direction do you go to just go slam into them? Yeah.
Well, I mean, it would take fucking 6 months just to get an army over there to begin with, and then you'd have supply issues, and then it would take years to get across this. So I don't know. Anyway, that was a fun campaign. It'll be on YouTube forevermore. And then thanks for watching, guys.
Good night.
Ciao.